Hello everyone, thank you for coming. Hi Jakari, how are you? And hi Shredder when you're back. So I've got a new camera, so that means I've got a second camera for cards now. Could you do a side reel chart for me? Do you mean sidereal astrology? If that's what you mean, then no, I just do Western. Sorry. Okay, so I'm probably going to jump straight into it today so then we can get on to individual readings afterwards and it doesn't take too long. So I'm going to, as I read each sign, I'm going to get through the whole sign before I respond back to like any comments or anything as well, so I don't get off track or distracted. But that's in between each sign, so it's only 2 minutes that I won't be trying to look at chat for in between each sign. But yeah, so if you have any questions, definitely ask them at the end. You can ask them at the end of each sign, otherwise right at the end, or we can look at your individual chart afterwards. So yeah, a Western chart but with whole house. Yeah, we can look at whole house if you want. I don't mind. I prefer Placidus, but we can do whole sign for you if you like. If you stick around till then, that is. Okay, so I've just saged and cleared the energy. First, I'm going to just ground our energy because of this intense solar eclipse. We want to be as grounded as possible, especially to be able to take in all this hectic energy that's going on and be able to take in the advice and everything properly. Sorry, my hair's a mess. And then, yeah, so we need to ground, we need to ground our energy so we're not all up here, so that we can get the most out of this whole reading, basically. So, yeah. I hope you were here for that, Shredder, because I know you would enjoy that. If not, we can do it again later. Okay. Okay, so let me bring up my eclipse notes. Okay. Oh, my hand's in the camera, that's funny. Let's bring up the eclipse chart and not my hand. I have to get used to this camera, and I'm using my left hand with the mouse, but I'm not too bad with left because I had to use it for a long time when I broke my wrist a few years ago, so yeah. Okay, so the eclipse chart. Oops. Going really big. down to size. Okay. So, alright. So we're about to reach the total solar eclipse in Sagittarius. Now, a total solar eclipse, also please let me know if the music's too loud and you can't hear me well. So the total solar eclipse will be on Monday at, so in New York time, which is what I have on this chart. Oh, just move it down a little. Sorry, that's my Virgo there, attention to detail. So, yeah, so the eclipse will be happening on December 14th, which is Monday at 11:15 a.m. That's New York time, so you may need to convert that to your time zone. For me in Australia, I know it's going to be on the 15th of December. So yeah, so the 15th of December for me, and for other people on this side of the world, and the 14th of December for people on the other side of the world. It may be later in the day for you, depending where you are. So the eclipses are basically, the eclipses come to eclipse things out of our life. Now, we spoke about the lunar eclipse 2 weeks ago in Gemini, where it was very much about where we're moving towards the North Node as a collective and everyone, and we're moving towards new ways of communicating, new ways of sharing information, of connecting, and basically it's and the opposite is that releasing of that Sagittarius energy, which is the old stories, the old beliefs, the old patterns, anything that's holding us back that we've told ourselves, or we've picked up from other people growing up or along our journey, or could even be things that we've learnt, that we've studied, or a path that we've gone down that we thought was where we were going and it's no longer for us. So right before this intense solar eclipse though, we have that dark moon, which we spoke about yesterday, the dark moon in Scorpio. So the dark moon is always right before a new moon, and this new moon that's coming in Sagittarius just happens to be a solar eclipse because it's so close to this south node, and that south node is what we're moving away from. So that dark moon, I'm looking at the chart. That dark moon right before the new moon we're about to experience. This is what we're going through all this weekend. And anything that's in when the moon is in Scorpio, it's all about deep and going like down into the depths of our soul and our heart and what we truly desire and our truth, and bringing out like the dark stuff, like the trauma and the healing that needs to happen, and it bring out transformation, and it can bring out the truth of things because it's quite a investigative sort of sign, that Scorpio energy, and it's also a sign that can like quite sensitive in a way. They can sense things and sense people's true emotions and feelings and stuff like that. So this dark moon that we're going through is sort of like the last little bit of release now before we move into that new moon Sagittarius energy, and that releasing and letting go of people and relationships that are no longer serving us, situations. It can be ambitions that we had or goals that we thought we're going to chase after, but they're no longer in alignment with us. And it can be hard to let go of these things because of those old beliefs, those old stories we tell ourselves, whatever we're holding on to, because they've been a part of us and a part of our learning and what we know and what we knew as well. So a part of this dark moon energy and the whole relationship focus too is because the moon will move over the point where Venus has retrograded a few times over the last 8 years. And that has been a big 8-year cycle of deep transformations for relationships. And when we got to the end point of that about a month or two ago now, I think it might have been 2 months ago now, that cycle, we pretty much people would have seen where they needed to let go of relationships and what relationships they need to get off. They would have started to sense it or feel it, or what they've been ignoring and not realizing would have come to the surface. And that sort of so then anytime a planetary body moves over that point, it's going to activate it or trigger it again in some way. And it's the moon moving over that this weekend definitely is going to trigger that, especially because it's that dark moon before this eclipse. So again, it's letting go and releasing any of those last relationships and that, so that we can move into this new eclipse energy, this new Sagittarius energy, this new optimistic energy we're going to have for the next 6 months of new opportunities and new beginnings. Let me see. So the new moon in Sagittarius is usually a time that we would set new intentions, set new beginnings. Any kind of new moon, we do that, and we would be setting intentions for things that are like going to bring growth or to help us like expand in some way, and to to like learn or to teach others. And this Sag energy too can bring up like the because we're needing to release and let go of those old stories and that old beliefs and all that, so we can move into these new ones. And that's what that new opportunities are around that as well. And it'll differ where it is in each individual person's life, depending on where it's falling in your chart, which we'll go through shortly. But it's new opportunities in that area. And I lost my focus there. So we need to make sure we're focusing on the positive and optimistic things when we're letting go of those old ones, and not getting lost in other people's, again, beliefs of what they think of us or what we should do, or what the outside world is expecting of us. We need to be following our heart and going after what we love, basically. So the Neptune energy too has been making this time more intense. Neptune and Pisces energy, because there's been a few different aspects that has hit too. Like we've had the moon hit that a couple of I think one of the last trends that we talked about, we had Neptune in Pisces the last solar eclipse, and it was squaring the the lunar eclipse, it was squaring the nodes. We had Neptune in Pisces square Mercury, and that is going to, I think that's coming up, and that's going to trigger basically these like Neptune things and like bring them out to be expressed and communicated and talked about and all that now, which is going to be part of like the being able to release and let go, because it's bringing it up to the surface and bringing new information about it. And the eclipse also can bring like unexpected things, unexpected situations, unexpected people into our lives, again, to like cut off what's no longer serving us, especially if we haven't done this work, especially over the last 2 weeks since the lunar eclipse. We haven't done the releasing, the cutting off, the letting go, or anything like that, then we're going to feel this more intensely, and it's going to trigger us more as well. So part of that Sag energy too, what we're focused on, the new beginnings, is going with the flow. And as a Sag moon, I like to say, go with the universal flow. And that's what it is, not trying to chase after and go after things that are like difficult or hard, that just aren't in our path or alignment, or that aren't working anymore, but going with the things that the universe is lining up for us, the synchronicities that are showing up, the signs. We'll be able to see them if we're like open to them and aren't stuck in that old stuff. But if we're still stuck there and like letting that Neptune come over and give us the fogginess, or the rose tinted glasses, or the deceptiveness, or the being stuck in dreaminess and not being able to really be in reality and stuff like that. So if we don't get lost in all that, and we can just go with trusting the universe and follow the positive things that are open to us, then that's what will lead us down that path, that towards that north node, which is our destiny. Okay. So the eclipses are all about karma. So it's karmic situations, and again, can bring in like karmic people into our lives, and releasing of like any past life stuff as well that we've like carried through, that's like we've finished with, we've sorted it, we've served the purpose, and that's why those people can disappear out of our life as well. So that Neptune energy too can make us doubt and feel unsure, and not really be confident with where we're going and what we're, second guessing and questioning ourselves. So we need to make sure that we're not doing that, unless it's, of course, because it's something that's not on our path or in alignment. That's where we need to be clear and not get foggy and see which one it is. Thank you for the follow, Mixtrology. Thank you for being here. Okay, so so look for those repetitive signs and that number synchronicities, all that stuff. And let's say you'll know whether something's right or on the right path if it's in your integrity and it feels good and it feels right and it's in that heart energy as well. So with that new moon too, I wanted to say before is that it's during the eclipse is not the time to do like the new moon rituals, set those new intentions or anything like that we'd normally do on a new moon. We also want to wait till the energy starts to grow a bit with the new moon, which we normally do anyway, but especially more because it's with eclipse, we want it to move away from that south node far enough before we start setting these intentions, so we're not getting stuck with that past behavior or that karmic old stuff we need to let go of. We need to be moving forward into the new energy and setting the new intentions in that with that moving us forward. So, a day or two after the eclipse, 2 days, even, although we like to usually do it on that same moon energy, if it's going into the next sign and that Capricorn energy, I don't think it's going to matter in this instance, because it's still the energy is going to manifest over the next 6 months, and that Capricorn energy is going to make it more practical for us, more achievable things that we're going to be able to really take responsibility for and do, instead of like maybe the Sag side of things too, which is that south node we're moving away from, which can be overcommitting to things and like not being able to follow through because we just have these big ideas and big things and think we can do so much when we need to just focus on maybe just a few things, not too many things. So yeah. So yes, so it's going to be quite intense because again, eclipses bring breakthroughs, breakdowns and breakthroughs, so that we can move through something that we're blocking and not moving through ourselves. Basically, it can sever things in our life. So now I want to move through each sign, and this is by rising sign. You can look at your moon and sun to get a sort of like picture, sort of an idea of the whole story. So if we look at our moon sign, it's like our internal, our emotions, our feelings, and that can sometimes if you listen to all three, you can pick up something in each that all matches up, and it's like, okay, that definitely feels with what I'm going through at the moment. Or sometimes it could just be a rising just spot on, and it's right that, especially if it's hitting something particular, a planet in your chart, which we can't see just on these general overviews. We can look at that later in the readings afterwards. But yes, so we're going to move through each sign, and you can look at your sun sign too, which is again can give you a bit more information, because the sun is where the light shines sort of in our chart. It's a focus point, but again, rising sign is best, the ascendant, the first sign. So, okay, now let me bring up the chart for Aries rising first. So a lot of the information given is at the start, what we just went through. So now this is just sort of the basics of where all that sort of energy is now hitting in each rising sign person's chart. All right, so let me bring up Aries chart. Oops, it's a bit big. made these a bit big. It's okay. We'll work with it. Okay, so now for hello Tally Dog. Okay. Alright, so for Aries rising, now we're looking at the Sagittarius house in your chart, which is the 9th house. Now, the 9th house is all about our beliefs and our stories. It's about our higher learning. It can be about the teachers and gurus in our life. So this is where like the new opportunities and new beginnings can be for you, but once you let go of those old outworn ones. So yeah, you could come into over the next 6 months possibly committing to a long-term study of something, or something like philosophical and stepping into learning more about that, or some kind of growth or learning that can really help you to expand and open up. It could also be some kind of new religious belief that you sort of step into, or spiritual belief as well, or something that you take on some growth and learning in that area of life. And again, it could be like a new teacher that comes into your life too, or a guru or someone to help you with that. And again, that old energy could be, you know, cutting off of old gurus or people that, you know, you learnt from for some one time, but they're no longer serving you anymore because you've learnt all you need to from them, or you're going a different path now, that sort of thing too. So yeah, new beginnings and new opportunities there, which is going to help you then towards that North Node, which is that Gemini energy for you, which is the 3rd house. And the 3rd house is all about connection and communication, our like local environment, how we get around, what we do, that sort of thing that's like close by, little organizations and communities we're a part of, that sort of thing. So yeah, there's that's where you're sort of heading towards that too, and being more expressive and being able to communicate and connect more and like learn and process information in different ways as well. And that's probably going to help you with that 9th house stuff of like learning new things that we were discussing just before, like the philosophical things, or the new beliefs and all that stuff. So yeah, that's where it is for you for Aries rising. Alright, so we're going to pull a card for each sign quickly too as we go along. So let me bring up the camera for a card. Oops. Okay. Oops. So what do we have for Aries for this eclipse? Okay. So inner power. So that's speaking to me basically. Use all that knowledge that you've had before, all the stuff in the past that you've learned and all that. Like, you don't have to just forget about it, or you know, like you haven't wasted your time doing it or anything like that in that 9th house stuff. It's a matter of now, like, you are going to learn new things or grow in another way or whatever it is, and those things are going to be a part of basically like that. It's helped you get to where you are. So you've been through all that stuff and you've learned all that for a purpose, and it's going to help you, and it's going to help you to have that inner power basically to help you to move forward into all those new amazing things because of what you've learned, what you know, where you've been, all those old beliefs and stories and everything that you've been through that were a part of you that you're releasing and letting go of to move into new growth of. They're going to help you to have that inner power to move forward into those new things because of what you learned, because of what you know, and because of what you've been through and all that stuff as well. So yeah, use that inner power and just know how far you've come. Remember to reflect on that as well. Okay, so that's for Aries. Now we're going to move into Taurus rising. Okay. Taurus. Oops. Okay, so for Taurus rising people, okay, so Taurus, this is in your 8th house, the solar eclipse energy. So there are new opportunities and new beginnings once you let go of those old stories and old beliefs. And in the 8th house, it can be around trauma or any kind of like deep, intense emotions and healing, or anything to do with like birth and death or sex or anything like that as well, which can be trauma stuff around that as well. Releasing and letting go about any beliefs and old stories around that stuff that are holding you back, that are, you know, not letting you move forward or not letting you like step into the true power of who you are, because that 8th house too is like our power. And when we like can heal that trauma and we can transform and all that, and dive into those deep emotions and that true desire of what we really want and need, then that's where we can heal, and that's where we can be empowered then, and that's where that comes from, that power. So needing to do that, and it can also be releasing and letting go of the need for other people's money and resources, needing to rely on loans or inheritances or something like that, or, you know, not, you know, old patterns of not being able to pay bills or taxes or something like that too, or, you know, being able to look after your money or something, or and also it could be like trust issues too with that trauma and that healing side. It could be you know, learning to maybe trust again, or coming into new ways or new beliefs around trusting and truth and all that sort of stuff as well. So, you know, that all is then going to help you towards moving towards that 2nd house energy, which is that having really good self-worth and confidence about yourself and your abilities and skills, and the way that you can support yourself and have your own money and look after yourself and all that sort of stuff. So moving away from that 8th house stuff and moving towards that, so releasing and letting go of all that 8th house trauma and healing and other people's money and all that stuff, so that you can then move forward to the new stuff and new opportunities and new beginnings there. Yeah, so that's it for Taurus. Let's pull a card for you. Now, let me bring up the card. Oop. Yep, that was right. Okay. I'm not going to spend too long on each sign, because the overview gives sort of the brief the main explanation of what's happening, and then you can just see where it's triggering, what things could be triggered for you that you need to release and let go of, and where the new opportunities and new beginnings and new stories can be formed. Okay, so for Taurus rising, so we've got Goddess. Express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical intuition and nurturing qualities. So when that sort of card would come up for Taurus, it's definitely about needing to like ground and nurture the self, and like do those self-worth practices, and that's what we were just talking about, that 2nd house stuff. Yeah, so really starting to like look into that, and how you can like get more self-worth and like really step into that really confidence of yourself, and knowing that you can provide for yourself as well. So doing things like affirmations and all that help you to like reprogram your mind, and just, you know, even like coming to new information and ways of like learning how to maybe look after your money and stuff like that as well. But yeah, there's definitely something there with that self-worth and like knowing that you can rely on yourself, basically. So yeah, that's that for Taurus rising. So we'll go on to Gemini rising now. Okay. Now, so for Gemini rising, now this would have been more intense for you. I mean, no, I shouldn't say more intense. This is going to be intense for anyone that's got Gemini or Sag energy, or any planets in those signs too, that's for sure. And the lunar eclipse 2 weeks ago was in that Gemini energy, and that's where the North Node is, that's where we're moving towards. And for you in that first house, it's moving towards the self and the identity about who you are and what you have to offer as a person and what you want to put out there in the world that's about you, and like could be new ways of like showing or presenting yourself, new appearance, new identity in some way, and it's like new ways of expressing and showing yourself, because that Gemini energy is about expression and connecting and communication. So it's like some kind of new ways of doing that for you, and it's about your identity too. So it could even be new ways about communicating your identity. And we all know that Geminis are the messenger. They're here to spread a message and share a message. So, you know, it could even be like something to do with like branding about yourself and your identity that like pushes you to express yourself more and communicate that in some way there. But that Sag energy, what we're focusing on now, this solar eclipse in that 7th house, is moving towards, is letting go of old beliefs and stories around relationships. It could even be business partnerships when we talk about relationships, but it's any old beliefs and stories that are relationships that are holding you back. So it could even be relationships you're needing to cut off and let go of, and that could need to be like harsh cutting off because we're so stuck in our old beliefs that we just can't move forward because the stories we tell ourselves, and you know, we don't want to hurt this person or hurt that person, or because of this reason we can't do it, or this or that. They're the stories we're telling ourselves, and we need to let go of that, cut off in some way. And it's moving towards that identity and that individualism. So doing things for ourselves and looking after ourselves. So coming into new beliefs around in relationships where the focus is more going to be on you and what you want and how you are going to be in relationships and how the relationship is going to work for you, and not so much around other people. So it's very much an identity thing and being an individual. And yeah, there could be new relationships that come in to help you be more like that, be that more free individual, because that Sag energy too in that 7th house is someone that needs more freedom and space in relationships and needs that real positivity and optimistic energy too. So someone who, you know, represents that energy, or they get that in some way from the relationship to keep it going, or that fire or that passion that keeps it interesting. So that's what you need, new beliefs and new stories around that you can have all that stuff as well, but you've got to step into your identity and who you are and that individualism first, and that's what can get you there. So let's pull a card for you, Gemini rising. And again, remember, as I said, it could be doesn't always have to be love. It can be business relationships too, that 7th house energy. So, you know, again, any of those stories or old beliefs around that, or people that, you know, that you no longer align with, that aren't going on the same path as you in those business relationships. So yeah, Gemini rising. What do we have for you? The bottom card is calling to me. New opportunities. There you go, my Gemini rising friends. And I do know someone that needs to know that too. So new opportunities. So once you release and let go of those old relationships, or business or love, whatever it is, the new opportunities will come through. There's nothing more to say with that card. It says it all. Okay. Now let's move on to Cancer rising. All right. Oops. Cards keep falling. Okay. I'm getting through them pretty fast today, so we won't be too long till we get to the personal readings. Okay. quick drink. So Cancer rising. So for lovely, sensitive Cancer risings. Okay, so for Cancer rising, for you, the solar eclipse is happening in the 6th house. So the 6th house is where you need to release, let go, get rid of those old beliefs and stories, whatever's no longer serving you. And 6th house energy is all about our daily routines. It can be our health and our well-being. It can be like our health and fitness as well. It could be our work, because it's our daily routines represent all those things, but also our work and co-workers as well. So we could be needing to release and let go of any old stories or any old beliefs that are around that area. So it could be, that I can only do this kind of career or job, or, I could never change jobs because this is all I know, or this is all I can do. That sort of thing can be a part of it too. You need to release that because that's what's holding you back. Or it could even be something like, I don't have the organization skills and the analytical skills and the wit or attention to detail, or those sorts of things too, to be able to do this or do that. But it's like, you can learn those things and you can practice those things and get better at those things if you do them daily and do those daily practices. And that's what the 6th house is, the things that we do daily and what we do over and over, we can build, and it can like really benefit the rest of our chart too, because we've got those really strong 6th house. And that can be like eating well and eating healthy and coming into like new beliefs around like the way you can eat, or the way that you can like take care of your body, and it could be, again, so new opportunities coming into like new ways to exercise, or new that 6th house Sag energy could be someone that likes to do like social sports or social exercise and activities too, because that more social Sag 6th house energy. But it's definitely like there needs to be like fire burnt off in that 6th house with that Sag energy there. But yeah, so coming into like new ideas as well around how you can look after your well-being better, and letting go of like old stuff, like it could be eating patterns and habits and stuff like that too that are no longer serving you. And then that's going to help you, like I said, it can help balance out the rest of our chart, especially when it helps to balance out the 12th house, the opposite sign, and that's the North Node in Gemini for you. So balancing out that 12th house can be like one of the most important things. That's why having a balanced 6th house is important, because the 12th house is our psychological state, our mental state sort of thing. It's like our higher self, it's our connection to like God, universe, whoever. It's also like our intuition and our like dreams and reality and all that. It's not sort of reality, dreams and like fantasy world and all that sort of stuff. And it can be like where we like can get really creative too, that 12th house. So for you, it's like once you fix those 6th house things, it's going to balance out that 12th house and bring you like a better mental state and like a better connection with your intuition and your higher self, and knowing, and like just having that like better mental state and connection, which is like that. The 6th house is more body, the 12th house is a little more mind, so having that body-mind connection, that sort of thing. So yes, that's that for you, Cancer. And Cancer rising people, anyone with that Cancer placements, really need to look after their body and nurture themselves and take care of themselves and eat well, because they can be more sensitive in that they can kind of overindulge, especially that 6th house, that Sagittarius energy. That's indulgence, so they can maybe overindulge in sometimes in food with food or in some way, and overdo it. I mean, it could even be over exercising or something too, overdoing it, but they need to care and nurture for themselves and look after themselves as well, so that they're protecting their energy, basically, because it's a very protective sign. And when they look after themselves, then they can be a Cancer and nurture and care and look after everybody else like they want to. Okay, so that's it for Cancer rising. We'll just pull you a quick card and see what we get for you to help with that eclipse energy. Okay, so for Cancer rising, animal. So your animal spirit guide is a guardian to you and is helping you with this situation. So this card usually comes up when it's basically a message to tell us to connect in with our spirits and our guides. And when it's the animal power one, it's telling us like we need to ground and connect with like Mother Nature in some way to connect in with these guides. They're not necessarily the ones that are always just airy-fairy and around. I should say airy-fairy, but these are like the earth guides, the animals. So we need to get grounded and connect with the earth in some way. And you know, that sixth house is like looking after the health and all that. So it could be going out walking, or it could be like sitting outside on the earth and actually like grounding, so that all that electromagnetic energy and all that crap from the day basically can drain out of your body, and the earth can take it away and like help heal your body. And that's what earthing and grounding does to us when we connect back to the earth. It's like so important, and that can really help with that sixth house energy and like helping you to heal when it can drain away all that toxic stuff. So yeah, when you can connect in with the earth and get real balanced, then you'll be going to be able to receive those messages from the animal guides, from the animal spirits, and yeah, basically connect in and get whatever you need, and you know, and help you develop that intuition and all that too, and that connection with your guides. And that's probably what it's about, because that's what we spoke about, that 12th house stuff. So being able to connect in with that, when you can do those sixth house things of grounding and having like a really good healthy routines and practices, then you'll have that better intuition and that better connection with your guides. So yeah, that was for Cancer rising. Okay, so we'll move on to Leo rising now. And oh yes, leopard, cheetah. Yeah, so we go through each sign, and I'm saying rising sign, but again, I said at the start, you can refer to your moon and sun too, because it does give you a bit more information, can give you a bit more information. But also we all have these signs somewhere in our chart. It's a different area of our life. So all the signs, when we talk about signs and what they mean and represent, are all going to be different parts of us, but just in different areas of our life. So yeah, but that's, I guess, gets a little bit more complicated. All right, so let's bring up Leo rising. Whoops, not Cancer again. All right, Leo rising. Okay, so for Leo rising, now for Leo rising people, this is in your fifth house, the solar eclipse energy. Now the fifth house is all about our love and our heart and our true desires and needs, basically, when it's coming from like our heart and what we truly want. It can also be like our creative side and like our passions and hobbies that we do. It can also represent children and you know, our childlike self as well, and that sort of more immature side of us, you know, where we can really connect in with our inner child. So basically it's like letting go of beliefs or stories around any of that fifth house stuff. So anything even too around like romance or you know, being able to really love and connect with people in some way and open your heart and really like speak from your heart and like live from your heart and like honor your heart and what your heart wants, and be able to speak about that with someone or talk about that, open up about that. There could be something there with that fifth house, like new beliefs around stories around that, or it could be something around children too, the children in your life or the children around you, or something even possibly from like you know, where you're needing the way to get into the heart as well. That heart energy is always to connect back with our inner child and to do something that you know, we used to do as a kid, and then we can really connect in with that heart energy, because it brings us back to that space of, you know, that feeling of what it used to be like. So so coming into like new stories and new beliefs around, you know, that you can fulfill your heart's desires and you can do what your heart wants and what you really want. And this could be new opportunities for new hobbies new creative ideas, or things that you can like create and you can, you know, put your heart into, and that you can do, that you can sort of shine out in the world some way maybe as well. But it's letting go of anything that's holding you back there, that's not letting you step into that heart. And when we look at that 11th house too, where the North Node is heading, the destiny point where we're sort of wanting to point our energy towards in Gemini, the 11th house, it's the outer connections with people, being able to connect with others on a bigger scale, you know, organizations or groups that we're a part of, friendships and friends. And when you can really like step into that heart energy and you know, and let go of anything around all that old stuff there, then that's when you're going to, you know, be able to flourish in that area and have all those amazing friendships or connections or social groups that you're a part of, or that bigger purpose or something that you're a part of as well. Because that's where, you know, you're heading towards. It's like not focusing so much on the self and in the way of like what you are, because you're focusing on your heart and what you want, but not in a selfish way. You're doing it because it's true to you, not because it's just, I just want to do this and do that, like that Aries energy. It's more, it's just because that 5th house is like the heart energy. And when we're doing anything from the heart, it's never to harm anyone else or to hurt anyone else. It's, if we're doing something that's from our heart, then it's always going to be in alignment, and it doesn't matter if someone else is upset with it at the time, or if other people don't approve or whatnot. As long as we're following our heart, then it's right for us, basically, and that's all that matters. So again, yeah, there's going to be new opportunities and even new ideas and things around, like, you know, your creative skills, hobbies, and again, even things with children and stuff like that as well. But it's definitely focused around the heart, and yeah, just letting go there of not being able to, yeah, be in that loving heart energy and be true to you. It's like fully being in our truth, especially when it's 5th house Sag energy. Sag is like the truth teller, basically, and the 5th house is the heart, so it's like speaking from the heart. Okay, so that's Leo rising. We'll just pull a card for you, Leo rising people. So there's Leo, you're wanting to be, you know, connecting with people on a bigger scale, or more friends or something in some way, or connecting with friends and people. That's where the North Node is for you. Okay. Yosh. Alright, so what card do we have for Leo rising? Romantic partner. So we did say the 5th house is romance. So there you go, letting go of old beliefs or stories around you being able to have romance in your life, that you deserve it, or that you can have it, or that you'll find someone that is in the same alignment as your heart and that wants the same things as you and is on the same path as you. And has the same, like, bigger, higher purpose as you. That 11th house is like wanting to do something on a bigger scale, or for the world, or for humanitarian in some way, or the environment even. And it's like maybe romance is like being able to find someone romantically that you can do all that stuff with, and it like lets you like be in your heart and enjoy yourself and have fun and live from your heart and follow those aspirations and dreams to do all that. So releasing and letting go so that romantic partner can come in. Nice. That's Leo rising. Okay, next is Virgo rising, and we're halfway there. Okay, so Virgo rising, let's bring you up. Sorry, I shouldn't do it like that. Okay. what's going on there. Alright, Virgo rising. Okay, Virgo rising. Oh, thank you, Warden Amethyst, for the follow, and Amber Squishes, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much. We'll be on to personal readings as soon as we get through the signs and we can look at individual charts and see where the eclipse energy is hitting and if it's hitting any planets. Okay, so for Virgo rising. So for Virgo rising people, now this solar eclipse energy is in your 4th house. So the 4th house represents our home, our roots. It can be like our immediate environment where we like spend all our time. So you're needing to let go and release anything there that's no longer serving you. It could be like people you're living with. It could be a house that you're living in. It could be like that you think that you can only like afford to live here, or you can only live here because then it helps you to get here and get there, or something around beliefs around like location and living, or the people that you're living with maybe. It could also be something around the mother as well, like needing to release and let go of something with the mother energy, like old beliefs or stories around that. And it could be like the stories and beliefs around what they want, what she wants for you, or that main primary caregiver and what they want for you, and what they, where they want to, what they think is what's best for you as well. Or it could just be, again, those beliefs around, again, where you've always lived or where you've grown up, and you don't want to move away from there or something. And again, it could be someone that's like holding on to living with their parents or something like that, and they need to grow up and move out, because that's what Saturn's been doing for us the last 2 years, pushing us to grow up and take responsibility and move into like our path, and to be able to set goals and like achievements so we can leave some kind of legacy behind. Oh, hello. Thank you, Amber Squishes, for the raid. I appreciate it. And thank you for the follows. Thank you, Tonberry Tim. And I think that was it. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the raid very much. Hello, Star Called Ash. Oh, and thank you for the follow, Bewitched. Lovely of you all to be here. I'm just going through each individual sign briefly, and then we're going on to personal readings for everyone for the eclipse. Hello, Warden Amethyst. Thanks for being here. And thank you, Amber Squishes. If you hang around, then I will be able to read your chart first, but if you're tired from your stream, then that's fine. I understand. I'll catch up with you another time, but I hope you had a lovely stream, and I'll definitely have to check it out next time. I bet not be the only one following. Oh, thank you, Tonberry Tim. That's very sweet of you. Oh, you're down. Awesome. Okay, I'll try and move through them as fast as I can so we can get on to the personal readings. Okay, thanks again for everyone for being here. Okay, cool. All right, so continuing Virgo rising. So yeah, that Sagittarius energy again could be around like the mother or the mother's beliefs or stories there that are holding you back, that you need to let go of so you can move forward into that 10th house energy, into that Gemini energy, that North Node, which is all about having new like goals and new ideas of like what you can create and what you can achieve, and the legacy that you can leave behind, and what you're here to like do and create and build basically. And if it's that 10th and that 4th house axis, it can be like a new home possibly, or definitely like new locations or living, because if it's going to help us with like our growth and building in the way of expansion of goals and legacy and what we're here to do, then that's definitely going to be something that's like going to be good for you Sagittarius people. So that's it for Sagittarius. We'll just pull a quick card just to give a little bit of guidance for that energy, the eclipse energy for you, and that 4th house, the home, and our roots. Okay. So for Virgo rising, so for Virgo rising people, integrity. Align your actions so that they match your values and inner knowing of what's right for you. So that's exactly what, like, our beliefs and our values. So being integrity to yourself and being true to yourself about what you need, what's going to nurture you and create that good foundation, that stability, that home that's going to be able to nurture you so that you can go out into the world and create all those amazing outer things, those goals, that legacy, those Saturnian things. So having that, like, really good home and support system, and being true to yourself and letting go of people that aren't in alignment with that, or moving away from people that aren't in alignment with that. Yeah. So that's it for you, Virgo rising. I could confuse there. Virgo rising. Okay, so next is Libra rising. So, whoops. Okay, so Libra rising. All right. Okay, so for Libra rising. Okay, so for Libra rising people, now the solar eclipse is going to be in your 3rd house. So the 3rd house is our communication. It's like the things that we do sort of locally, the local places that we go to, or organizations or communities that we're a part of. And it can be the way that we express and communicate, writing, journaling, speaking, any of those things. And like the close connections we have too, and can also represent like our siblings as well. So that 3rd house energy, needing to release and let go of old stories and beliefs, and with anything around that. So it could be, old stories that I'm not good enough to like talk and on a big scale and like help many people, or share information in some way, or I'm not able to deliver a message because I'm like not confident enough to, or I don't have the right knowledge or studies or information around that. So it's releasing and letting go of anything holding you back from letting you step into that, to being able to talk and communicate and share a message in some way, or speak about what you need to, or connect with people in some way as well. Be able to go out and to like join a community or group and do something that you really want to do that connects you and help does something for you. And others as well, because it's very much about you and others when it's that Gemini energy, because that's that duality. So, anything that's holding you back from thinking that you can learn and you can grow, and that you can basically like have new ways of learning as well. So that's what this will bring in once we let go of all that. New opportunities, new ideas around what you can do to communicate, or how you can learn, or how you can share information as well. And that north node where we're heading towards for you is that 9th house, which is all about that higher learning, the philosophical stuff, and like also can be like long-term studies, or like travel, and being able to like connect with other cultures and see things on like a different perspective and scale, and not sort of like in a scale, but be able to like be open and open-minded and optimistic as well. So moving towards that 9th house stuff, when you can fix that 3rd house stuff and release and let go of like any of the old stories and beliefs around being able to do all that, so that you can then like commit to some kind of new long-term study, or come into some like new beliefs also, or some kind of new learning, or like self-development as well, because that's what you need to focus on. That 9th house is like being able to grow basically and expand, and that's what you need to be doing. especially over this next year, is growing and expanding. So yes, Libra rising people, releasing and letting go any beliefs around you being able to communicate fluently, and just talk and communicate and connect with people. And moving towards new beliefs around connecting and learning and, you know, even teaching. Like maybe you can move into that teacher role now because you've done all the growth and learning and that, and it's time to step up and be that teacher. You know, put your energy out there and show others in some way. And, you know, maybe those old beliefs are holding you back from that. So, yes, that's it for Libra rising. Let's draw a card for you, Libra rising. Oops. Okay, Libra rising. Libra rising. Kick up your heels. So, for Libra, when we're looking at that 3rd and that 9th house, it can be maybe, you know, too much focus on like, the old beliefs and the old stories, and that you're like not able to do what your heart desires, because that's what we're moving towards when we're moving towards the North Node stuff, is what our heart desires and what's truly in our destiny. And if you're too focused on what's holding you back and you can't move forward, then sometimes we need to like take a break from like thinking about it and like too much trying to like grow and learn and expand, and go back into ourselves and like enjoy things and have those like normal like daily pleasures and stuff like that, so that we can really get back on our path and like see what's like not good for us as well when we can get into that like space. So yeah, it's this one saying to kick up your heels and like have some fun and enjoy yourself. And that like 3rd house could be like new opportunities of connecting and like getting in with like organizations or people in your like local environment, to maybe have some fun or something like that as well. Okay, that's Libra rising. And Libra people have also had it a little tough this last 2 years as well, with that Capricorn energy squaring. So yeah, maybe it's time to just enjoy yourself a little bit, or remember that it's not just all about work as well. Okay, so that's Libra rising. Let's move on to Scorpio rising. Okay. Oh, the sound healing challenge is nearly complete, I think that means. Which is good, because I want to do the sound healing, I think, Tuesday night, which would be Monday for a lot of you, which will be on the solar eclipse. So that would be exciting if we can do a sound healing on the eclipse to help ground out all that energy, so we can release and let go of all these things and then clear up the space and energy to move forward. Because if we don't, then those new opportunities, all those new things can't come in if we haven't cleared the space for them. Okay. So, Scorpio rising. Okay. So for Scorpio rising people, so Scorpio rising, the eclipse is going to be, solar eclipse is going to be happening in your 2nd house. Now the 2nd house is all about our self-worth, our confidence, our skills and abilities, basically our ability to like rely on ourselves and be able to make money and support ourselves and have the things we need that enable us to feel secure and confident within ourselves. So releasing and letting go of any old stories around that stuff, around not being good enough, not feeling like you can rely on yourself and provide your own financial security, and take care of yourself and nurture yourself as well. So any old stories around also like the ways that you can make your money from your skills, so that I don't have enough skills, or even like applying for jobs, and like if a job has all these skills listed and you've got like 80% of them, and like, oh, I can't apply for that job because I don't have everything it needs. Well, maybe the 80% is enough and someone else doesn't even have that much, and they're just putting it up really high to try and get the highest ability, and you're the closest. Like, you just don't know. Or maybe those skills you can easily obtain, or it doesn't even matter because they're just something you can either learn as you go, or you've got the other skills that are way more important anyway, or something like that too. Releasing and letting go old beliefs and stories around anything around that's holding you back, around the skills and abilities that you have that can make you money and that can support you and that can offer that security and that stability there. And when we're moving towards that that north node, which for you is the 8th house, it's maybe like being able to trust other people with their money, and trust that other people will support you in some way and look after you as well, or knowing that there's like other ways of like having resources and finances, like loans. We don't always want to get into debt and that, but there is other ways. Getting a loan can sometimes help us, or something. I'm not saying to get a loan, but that north node can be like there's other opportunities, or there is other ways to like deal with your money and your finances and stuff like that, once you can step into that confidence of like you being able to do that and manifest things that you really want, because that second house is too about our ability to manifest as well. So there'll be new opportunities there around being able to like support ourselves and that, and growth. New opportunities could be there of being new ways to earn money, or new skills and abilities that you could come into to learn or grow, so that you have that self-worth and that confidence. And it could also be some like really deep healing, or something that you do that heal some like kind of wounds or something, because that 8th house can represent wounds too. Some kind of trauma or healing there that you're going to be working through and towards over the next year, that will really boost that second house of self-worth and healing and knowing you're enough, basically, and that you can support yourself. So that's Scorpio rising. Now let's do a card for you, Scorpio rising, and see what the message for you for the solar eclipse is. Some guidance. So Scorpio rising, oops, I'm going to shuffle again, even though one fell out. If it's meant to be, it'll come up again. And that does happen with cards. Okay. Alright, so Scorpio rising. Oh, somebody else got this card too. New opportunity. So there you go. It could be new opportunities in that second house stuff. New ways to make money, new ways to be able to like have more financial security, new opportunities, so you have new ways to like earn more money, or even new opportunities that come in to help you to like develop that self-worth. So it could become some kind of like self-development and growth around that area of your life too. But there's something there with that second house and being confident within yourself, and new opportunities there that are going to come over the next 6 months, so that you can really do that. So yes, that's it for Scorpio rising. Hello, Choc Mint Monk. Thank you for being here. I hope you had a lovely stream. Cat stream popping tonight. Oh, Shredder, thank you. I think it's the eclipse energy. Everyone just needs a little bit of guidance at this time because it's so intense. haven't had these kind of like crazy aspects and everything going on for so long. And next week, when we have this big Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, we haven't had that since the 1300s, like in an air sign. So this is like huge energy and like huge changes and shifts that are going to be coming over the next like few months. And it's all going to be triggering from now the solar eclipse, these eclipses, and then also this conjunction next week, which we'll talk about next weekend. So yeah, big things and big changes for all of us and for the world as well. Okay, so we're on to Sagittarius rising, so we're almost at the end. Thank you everyone for sticking by. Okay, let's bring up Sag. 3 more to go. Okay, Sag rising. Okay, my lovely Sag rising people. Okay, so for Sagittarius rising, for Sag rising, this is your first house. So the first house is our identity, who we are, can be our appearance, how we present ourselves, how we show ourselves, what we want to put out to the world, how people first see us, all that stuff about identity and who we are. So for you, it's getting rid of those old beliefs and old stories around like, you know, you and like what you can be and who you want to be. And it could even like, so the new opportunities and new beginnings could be around like new ways to like dress and present yourself, or new ways to like just show yourself off, or like, you know, for someone who had a brand that was very much their identity, who they are, they could like step into a new branding of themselves, or it's that new identity in some way. Once you can let go and release of the old stories and old habits and behaviors that are holding you back, that aren't letting you be that real, you know, Sag rising person, which is someone that's usually like quite optimistic and positive and like can go with the flow, which is what we need to be doing with all this energy, is going with the flow, seeing the opportunities and being open to them, and having that inquisitive mind and like wanting to like grow and learn and like know more, basically. So any old stories that are holding you back, where you're, you know, it can be even this, you know, where you're not good enough, where you think, you know, people will think I'm weird if I show myself this way or that way, or anything around that sort of stuff too. Yeah, so moving towards that North Node energy, which is the 7th house. So it's stepping away from probably like the need also to be an individual, or maybe to do everything on your own and always like be independent as well, and like the beliefs around that, like you have to do everything, or you're alone, or you always have to be by yourself, or you can only be by yourself, or you do better by yourself, or people don't like you, or whatever. There could be stories around that, and that's part of your identity, and you need to release and let go of that too, so that you can move into that 7th house stuff of like new relationships and new connections with people. And basically that's what it is, new relationships, being able to move into new relationships, new ways of connecting and communicating in relationships, and having relationships with others, new growth in relationships. That's what you're moving towards. So moving away that independence and moving towards relationships. You still need to be that, you know, everyone needs to be their independent self and have their identity, but not be stuck in that identity of like, it has to be me and only me, but moving towards the fact that we can have relationships and we can all benefit from relationships when we have them, healthy ones in our life. So that's Sag rising. Let's pull a card for you, Sag rising. Now the card this time is going to be on top of Yosh, because he's sitting right in front of the camera. So Sag rising. It's just a black surface now. The wood is gone. There's my fluffy Yosh. Oh! Okay, so the card for you, I don't think it's going to sit on, oh, there we go. Can you please hold that, Yosh? Thank you. Sliding. Solar plexus chakra. It is safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in a positive ways. So the solar plexus chakra is all about our like, power in our like solar plexus, and like being able to really step into like our creative true self, and step into like what our gut feels is like true for us, and our intuition when it comes from there as well is like really important, like trusting that gut instinct. So yeah, focusing on being in your power basically. So maybe it's, you know, something like you can still be your powerful self, be the individual and all that you want to be. And you don't have to get lost in relationships. You can have those healthy relationships and new ways of having relationships too when you get rid of those old beliefs. And it's okay, you can still be powerful and be your empowered self in those relationships. So yeah, and it's okay for you to be yourself and who you are, and that identity of, you know, who you, whatever it is, it's okay for you to be you in relationships as well, because you'll attract the right relationships when you're being you, and get rid of all those beliefs around that aren't good or healthy, that are holding you back. So yeah, that's it for Sag rising. Oh, sorry, I lied. I didn't lie, I got it wrong. We've got 3 more now: Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Okay, let's move through these. All right, so we are on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn rising. All right, okay. Okay, so for Capricorn rising, yes, my VOD save. So you can go back, and I'm going to, as I've been doing the last 2 weeks, split them all up individually into highlights each sign, so you can just watch your sign, and then I'll put them on YouTube like that as well again. So yep, you'll be able to look back at the VOD or look back at each individual sign. Okay, so for Capricorn rising, people, this is happening in your 12th house. So the 12th house is our psychological state. It's like our mental state. It can be like our connection with like our higher self or God or the universe as well. It can also be like where we like can self-sabotage ourselves as well and just like fall into like a false reality, or like hide away and not want to step out into reality. So there could be some old beliefs too and stories around anything that's like keeps you stuck from like having like a healthy like mental state, and even like a you know, it could be like an old spiritual belief or connection you had. Like if you were someone that you know, didn't believe in God before, you might all of a sudden be like, oh, why was I so against that when maybe there is something there, and maybe, you know, I should start to learn about like looking into God. Or it could be the opposite way, someone that's like been super religious their whole life, you know, and they've just been like always just gone with what they've known and the old beliefs that they've grown up with, and they want to expand and like have new beliefs and like maybe bring in like other religions into their religion and like, you know, follow multiple different beliefs about things. It could be something like that too. It's a higher belief, a higher connection, or it could be just someone that's like releasing and letting go of like, you know, that there is nothing out there, and believing now that there is something and there's a higher force, and that we can connect with that and really tune into that in some way. So there could be something around that too with that 12th house stuff. Or again, just where we've been where we sabotage ourselves and just get stuck in our like mind and lost in like a false reality and often fantasy and not the real world. Releasing and letting go old stories around that keep us trapped and don't help us to like really have that real 12th house power, which is like being able to be really intuitive and step into like real strong intuition and connect with ourselves in that with our higher self as well. And also any like healthy beliefs and around like meditation practices and stuff like that, stuff that can like balance our mind as well. There could be like new opportunities around those sorts of things to really like have that balanced mind state. And maybe that is by finding that intuition and that connection with that higher self. So you're moving away from that North Node stuff, which is like that Gemini energy in the 6th house. So it could be like, so moving towards the North Node energy in the 6th house. So it could be like, you know, having better healthy practices and daily routines, and, you know, going to bed and getting up early and drinking enough water and exercising and eating well and all those things, and, you know, having good organization and being on time and all that sort of stuff, working and focusing and improving all that stuff, so that that mental state and the beliefs and whatever's holding you back in that self-sabotaging, that 12th house area, you can move forward and have like this healthy mind and body and have them both balanced out, because it's important. So yeah, definitely moving towards like healthy daily practices and moving away from old beliefs that like stop you from like moving forward into those. Yeah. So it could be the mind is like blocking you from like moving into that, and you need to release and let go of whatever that is, and come into some new mental state, a new being, a new like way of like intuiting things. Like maybe it's a better connection, intuition and connection with the body, like it's that mind-body connection and understanding and listening to what your body really wants. So yes, that's for Capricorn rising. So let's pull a card for Capricorn. Okay. Okay, so for Capricorn rising people, so for this solar eclipse energy and some guidance there with that 12th house. Okay, so the 12th house guidance. Oh, the cards never lie. It's hilarious. So you don't have to take this as exact. No, I'm sorry, Yosh is still sitting here, so I can't put the card down properly. I finally get a second camera for card. Oh, so I've got another camera for cards. And then Yosh wants to sit here right in the spot. So this one's vegetarian, vegan. Fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. So it doesn't mean that you have to go vegan or vegetarian. The card is basically telling you that you need to tune in and listen to your body and give it the things that it needs, and give it more organic, wholesome foods so that you can be in a better like state with your body, which is going to help balance out the mind, as we said, that psychological state. So yeah, eating healthy or finding new ways to like eat better or have a better like health routine, and just getting in more whole foods and fruit and vegetables so that you can have that better frequency. And I think that's what high frequency, and that's what they say, plants have a different frequency, so we need to eat as much, eat those as well, so that we can get the benefits of that. So yes, that's it for Capricorn rising. So next is Aquarius rising, second last one, and then we'll move on to personal readings. Thank you everyone for your patience. Okay, so Aquarius rising people. Second last sign. Okay. So for Aquarius rising, okay, so Aquarius rising, this is going to be in your 11th house, the solar eclipse energy. So releasing and letting go of any old stories or beliefs or patterns or behaviors around your being able to like connect with people, or around friendships, or it could be like any kind of friendships or friends, or any groups or friendship groups or circles that you're connected to, a little like community organization, or not a little, but communities or organizations that you're a part of, and like certain beliefs and stories that they hold or that they have that are like not enabling you to step into that 5th house North Node energy, Gemini, of your heart, and to have fun and play and like be able to be in that childlike energy and create and do your hobbies and all that love and passion and romance, and step into all that area of life. So this could even be someone that friend zones everyone that they meet and has beliefs around that I'll never meet anyone, no one's ever good enough for me, or no one will ever sweep me off my feet, everyone just gets friend zoned, blah blah blah. Letting go of beliefs and stories around that so that you can move into like romance and passion and like be in your heart and like be in something amazing that makes you feel good and brings out that loving energy. Or again, just moving away from like friendships or the outer world and what the outer world believes you should be and the beliefs of the outer world, and moving into like someone that might want to like go be a gymnast or something like that. It's their hobby and it's their passion, they want to follow that and go do the gymnast 24/7, but their parents or like not even at like the outer world's like, you can't earn money from that, you can't do that, that's silly. You need to be doing a proper job and not following your heart and just what you want to do and all that, or something, or no, you need to work more and be able to do something for the like focusing on like, even could be like someone that's like, I need to be here and do something for a higher purpose, which is great, we're all like that, but their focus is just so much on belief of that they don't ever get to do that heart stuff and be in that playful, loving heart energy, because they're just so focused on the external outside world and what's going on out there, or what's expected of them out externally, and not focusing on what's internally, what's real for them and what they want in their heart. So that's it for Aquarius rising. Let's see where, let's just see what card comes up for you for some help for that one. Oh, hydrate. Thank you, Shredder. I do need to. Thank you for looking after me, Shredder. I appreciate it. Okay, so Aquarius rising. Okay. So let me just change it over to the card. Okay, so we've got throat chakra. The angels are helping you lovingly to speak your truth. So there you go. So maybe there's, again, friends or people in the outer world that you need to be honest with and speak up to about your true feelings and emotions and what your heart desires and what you want to do and what's best for you and what's right for you. And yeah, be truthful about it. The throat chakra, our throat can get blocked, we can have throat issues and things like that when we're not speaking our truth. So yes, there is a need there to speak your truth, which is always what comes from our heart. Yeah, so that's it for Aquarius rising. Okay, so last but not least is Pisces rising. So let's do Pisces and then we can move on to individual readings. Thank you everyone for your patience. Okay, so Pisces rising. Okay, so for Pisces rising people. So for Pisces rising, the solar eclipse is happening in the 10th house for you. So the 10th house is, what this is now what you're releasing, what you're letting go of, any relationships, any people, any stories, any old beliefs in that 10th house stuff. So the 10th house is our goals, can be our career, what we're trying to build or create in the world, the legacy we're trying to leave behind. And it can also represent like authority figures too. So any beliefs or old stories around any of those things that are holding you back and stopping you from being able to really like step into the 4th house energy, which is like having a really good nurturing home. And that's what the North Node's heading towards for you, for being able to create a really good foundation, a really good home, somewhere that you can like support you, that there's like love around, that you know you can come home and get away from at the end of the day, and nurture that, especially that Pisces energy. That's so important for a Pisces rising person, to have somewhere safe that they can be nurtured and have like compassion and love, and like where their sensitive energies can be like cared for and looked after basically. So yeah, moving towards like new opportunities around like what you can build and what you can create, or new goals that come up, or new opportunities for those things, and new beliefs around those things as well. And you know, that's going to help you create that good foundation and that home, and be able to you know, release any sort of like authority or responsibility that's like not helping you or serving you, that's stopping you from like having that good support system too. Okay, so for Pisces rising, let's pull you a card and see what the message is for you for the solar eclipse Sag energy in that 10th house. Okay, so for Pisces rising, your Shosh is still there. Okay. So for Pisces rising, Oh, so Pisces rising, inner child. So this card comes up when we need to nurture ourselves and get in touch with our inner child. So it can be doing things that we did when we were a child, or that help us go back into that childlike energy of feeling like safe and nurtured and protected, or just like being in our heart and being playful and having fun as we did when we were kids, so we can be in that energy and feel that again. And so for you, that inner child is about nurturing, so having a safe home and family and place that you can go home to at night. Especially for a Pisces rising person, they're sensitive. They need that escape somewhere that they can, hide away in a book, or a movie or fantasy or something like that, or gaming and escape for a while. So so that's it for all the signs. Thank you everyone for your patience, and I hope that those help everyone in some way, especially if you know your rising sign. I'll split them up, I'll put them on YouTube and cut them up here into highlights, so you'll be able to go back and look at your sign. You can look at your rising sign, that gives us the story of our life. The sun and the moon's like our emotions and feelings, and can what intensity is around that. And then the sun can like be highlighting something. So if you listen to all three, you might get a little bit from each that all sort of lines up and makes a story. Or you might just get enough from your rising sign. And especially if you're using it by Placidus and not whole house, and you know sort of what more, like for me, I'm a Virgo rising, but I listen to Libra rising because I'm a late degree Virgo, and the planetary energies are falling into the sign that is for Libra, not for Virgo, because I'm such a late degree. So it gets a bit more complicated, but when we look at individual charts, that's where we can go through that sort of thing anyway. So I'm going to start doing the individual readings now, so we can start giving everyone some guidance and help. I think the queue's already started, so I can go through. Thank you everyone for all the new follows, and everyone being here. I appreciate it. Hello Calta Frost, if you're still here. And Bewitched, if you're still here. Thanks for being here. And Big Chewy, haven't seen you around for a while. How's it going? Okay, so let's bring up the first person in the queue. And Jakari, are you still here? You were here right at the start, but that was an hour and 43 minutes. Oh, Jakari, you're here. Okay, I'm going to read your chart first, and then afterwards I'm going to take a quick toilet break for 2 minutes and then come on to the next chart. But we're going to do yours first because you've been so patient waiting for so long. So place of birth. Yes, I'll do whole sign for you as you requested. That is definitely no problem. So let's bring up your chart and get straight into it. Okay. So usually I read Placidus when I'm looking at how charts, but I've read Jakari's Placidus house chart before, and Jakari would like me to look at their chart from the whole sign perspective, which is what I was saying before. I'm a Virgo rising, but I listen to Libra. If I was looking at whole sign, I would listen to Virgo rising, which can still relate in some ways, and you can still get information from that for sure. And some astrologers only go by whole sign, and when you get general readings, usually they'll be telling you by whole sign, especially if you don't know the sort of later degree sort of situation. Okay, so we've got 2nd of August. We're already on August, that's good. 2004, and we've got 9:40 p.m. 9:40 p.m. Okay, and we've got birth town. Okay. And yes, if I have ever read your chart before, I'll always bring it up again if you're over here and jump in the queue and there's something big going on like an eclipse or a full moon or new moon, and we can always have a look. And if you join Discord too, then there's more opportunities for information in there as well about all the astrology and planets and everything that's going on. So, all right, let me bring up your chart now. I'll just make sure I've got the right details. So we've got 2nd of August 2004. Oh, we're going to change to whole signs. Sorry, let's go back and choose the chart. Let's make sure we got the right details first. 2nd of August 2004, 9:40 p.m. Huntsville. Okay, so let's choose whole house. So extended chart selection. We don't want to do Placidus. We want to do whole sign. Whole signs, there we go. Okay. So whole signs, we are looking at whole signs. Yep, all right, so let me bring that up, Jakari, and we'll have a look. Okay, whole sign chart. Okay. Oh, it's put it a different shape to normal. I don't know why. Anyway, we'll work with it. It's fine. Must be the type of chart. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. Let's see. I'll make it a bit bigger. Strange that it did it that way. Anyway. Okay, so Jakari. So yes, I like to start with rising sign. Our rising sign is who we are, what we're about, can be our appearance, the first impressions people have of us, how people see us. So this is our rising sign person would be Pisces rising because its first house is Pisces here, and we're not going by exact degree of ascendant, we're going by full house. So a first house rising person would be someone that's like quite psychic, quite intuitive, someone that is really needs to find that mental balance too, so they don't get lost and like depressed and like swept off with like fantasy and delusion and all that stuff. They need to make sure they stay grounded so that they can really be into like strong intuition and have that higher self connection and that psychic ability, because sometimes they can get lost and off with that too much and like lost and escape away from reality and like lose themselves in a way. And sometimes when they do this, it can lead to like drinking or those kind of like self-sabotaging behaviors or negative sort of more those sorts of things that like can, you know, play around with your mind a bit too, I guess. So yeah, it's definitely a need for like making sure you stay in reality, because they can get lost. They can be someone that likes to play video games for a long time, or likes like anime and stuff like that, or fantasy, or likes to read a book for a long time or something like that as well. They can be quite, as I said, psychic and sensitive as well, and quite creative and romantic and like artistic as well, with that first house Pisces person. The moon is there too in that first house, and so is Uranus. So whenever Uranus is there in the first house, especially there with the moon, it's going to make for someone that is a little bit more wired or anxious or a little bit more edgy in some way. It could even be someone that dresses differently or acts differently, likes to act differently from everyone else, is unique in some way. Maybe the black sheep feels like they're different, or they are different, or likes to be different in some way as well. And the moon there is definitely someone who either like wears their heart on their sleeve or shows their emotions quite a lot up front, because like the emotions are very much a part of like their identity and who they are. Or the mother is a mother, it plays a big part in like the way they dress and the way they show themselves and their appearance, and maybe they like to want to be like their mum when they grow up, and that's what they idolize and want to be like, or something like that there too. Your ascendant would have been 22 degrees Pisces. So yeah, so that's the Pisces, sensitive, artistic, creative, rising sort of person. There is oppositions though there to Mercury and Jupiter in those first house placements. So there could be like something around like your ability to like connect with others in relationships in some way, or express and communicate in relationships and have those really good open communication, because of like you get lost in your emotions and feelings and just like too sensitive and caught up in them, and it just becomes too much, or just too sensitive to people and relationships, and you seem to get into these relationships with like people that are more harsh and maybe more grounded, more practical, and more like point out your sort of issues as well. There could be something like that there. But yeah, so and it could also be someone that sees people with rose-colored glasses and relationships and gets themselves lost in them, and doesn't see people for who they truly are, or something like that too, because they get lost in their feelings and emotions and stuff, and it just becomes overwhelming. Or they could be overly compassionate or sensitive to people, and they don't look after themselves then, because they're just being too compassionate towards other people's feelings and not their own. Okay, so let's have a look at where the ruler of that house is as well, so we can get a bit more of an understanding of how it might play out, which is Neptune, which is up there in the 12th house. So it definitely speaks to all that stuff we said. Yeah, there's nothing more really, except that, no, nothing, except it just enhances that unique and that difference, and feeling like different or unique in some way, the black sheep, basically. LOL, so true. That's good. Okay, so let's have a look at your sun. So sun is down there in the 6th house in Leo. So that makes for someone that is here to like shine their light and wear their heart on their sleeve, and like be in their heart. And you've got Mars there too in that house too, so it's definitely someone who could be like a workaholic, or someone that's like really good at like relying on getting things done and having really good organization, and being able to like have good attention to detail, or be analytical in some way, or just be able to like work hard and get the job done, or something, with a 6th house energy with Mars there and the sun. It's shining a light. Or it could even be someone that's like really super energetic when it comes to like exercise and health, and like it's a big part of them, like being really healthy and like having a really good physique maybe, because there could be that, like with that Leo person, it could be someone that like has to have a really good body or look really good, or be really healthy, and there could be some kind of like it's highlighting there like the need for like really good health and nutrition, because it like helps you to shine and be confident and be in your heart energy and space, basically. And that 6th house sun person is let's talk about Leo sun person, is usually someone that is can be quite loving and quite like sensual as well in a way, and fiery and passionate as well with that Leo energy. They can be someone that can be a leader sometimes. They could be like a boss if it's in the 6th house in the workplace too, and that Mars is there, someone that's like driven. Leo sun person can be someone that people vibrate towards. So maybe it's like co-workers really like look up to you and like think you're great, and like you really shine in the workplace as well. Oh, you're the boxer. I forget about that, Jakari. That's right. So Mars is, and I don't know if we said this last time, but Mars is the warrior, the fighter, and 6th house is like our career, our work. So you've got Mars, the fighter, in your career work. So a boxer would make sense. That 6th house is someone that needs to have like really good healthy practices and daily routines to shine, basically. And that Leo sun is someone that is usually like in the limelight, or can be of some royalty or fame in some way, and it could be through their career, because it's in that 6th house. That's where they could shine, and for you obviously it is. So And we raised all the points for our sound healing too. So Tuesday night, which I'll post in Discord. Make sure you are a part of Discord if you're not already, because I'll put more information and what times and stuff like that when the sound healing will be for the solar eclipse, so that we can ground all that energy to help us release and let go and bring in those new opportunities and clear the energy, so that a few days after we can start to manifest those new intentions and or come up with those new intentions, new ideas, and put them out there basically. Okay, so now let's look at your the eclipse for you. So eclipse is happening for you in the 10th house for your whole sign. So 10th house is all about career, and I know this is a big thing for you because you've asked questions about it before. So yeah, we're moving towards that 4th house though for you, the North Node, which is all about having like a really supportive family and home system, and like somewhere that you nurture and can take care of yourself, and that there's people that can nurture and take care of you, and having really good like stability and foundation, and like somewhere that you can retreat to basically. So there's a need for that, and like coming into new ideas and like new ways of connecting with family as well. Maybe it could be something around that, new ideas and new ways of connecting with family, new ways of communicating with family or with those in your like local environment that you live with or that are around you. There could be something there with that, or direction of change of home and moving somewhere else as well, with the North Node heading in that 4th house. But you're needing to release and let go of old stories and old beliefs around that 10th house stuff, and that's around that career and the goals and the outer world stuff. So anything holding you back where you like don't think that you can create and you can achieve and you can build and you can leave a legacy behind, and really do all those like Capricornian things Saturnian things that you need to out in the world of like building basically. So you're letting go of any old stories, anything that's holding you back that's not true, that's other people's stories as well, or that's just not in alignment anymore, that you've learnt before, that's no longer like helping you, that are holding you back from like really being able to have like new goals and new to be able to build something and to be able to like leave some kind of legacy behind. So you need to focus on that home and that nurturing of the self, and then you'll be able to like really achieve those goals. And maybe if it's like you felt stuck or something holding you back, you're not able to get out into the world and do all those things, then the focus is like on that internal self, that 4th house, that nurturing and that home environment, which will then you'll be able to have a good foundation to do those 10th house things. So yeah, that Scorpio dark moon for you too, Jakari, is the 9th house. So it's all about like beliefs and our education and learning, and could even be like different cultures and stuff like that, or traveling, long distance travel. So there's like a releasing and letting go of like any old people and relationships that are either overseas or at far distance, or that aren't in alignment with your beliefs and like your philosophy and like what you want, how you want to grow basically. Anything that's any of those that are holding you back from growing, you need to release and let go of, because that 9th house is growth. So it's really like any relationships that you've learned from and you've grown from and are at their completion now, you need to let go of and not hold on to the old beliefs and stories that you need to stay stuck in them, because they're stopping you from moving forward into the new opportunities and that for new goals and new legacies and stuff like that to leave behind. Okay, so that's it for you, Jakari. Thank you for letting me look at your chart again. I appreciate it. I hope that it benefited you in some way and you got something out of it. Your whole sign house chart. And yes, we'll see who's next and get into the next reading, since you guys have been so patient and waiting. So Archangel, if you're still here, I'd love to look at your chart now. You just need to post your date of birth, birth time, and location. You can do it in chat. You can whisper it, and if you want to keep it private, I'll remove the details from the chart. Otherwise in Discord if you prefer that as well. That makes sense because because thank you so much. I find whole sign to be more accurate for me for some reason. Do you know what? Sometimes it clicks, you know, there's certain things in whole sign that clicks for me too. But yeah, everyone's different, I guess, and it could be something else in your chart that's got that whole sign energy, which I didn't look at then, but the same energy that's like really potent in your chart, which connects you more with that whole sign, rising sign basically. And if we're talking about it, then you've got Neptune, the ruler of your first house, in your 12th house. So, but then that would be, you would be reading for, I don't know, but anyway, that's something to note. Okay, so Archangel, I'm not sure if you're here, so we'll see who's next. If you come back, we can definitely come back to you. So Leopard Cheetah, I know you were very active here before. If you're still here, I'd love to look at your chart now and see if we can see where the eclipse is hitting for you. Hey, so yes, just your date of birth, your time of birth, and the birth location. And you can do it here in chat, you can whisper it, or Discord as well. Okay, great, let's bring it up straight away. Again, thank you for your patience. So I'm going to close all this and start again so we can get out of whole sign houses and go back to Placidus. Okay. All right. Now, Leopard Cheetah. Oh, I didn't do you a card either, Jakari. Are you still there? Uh, 2002. And we've got 6:36 a.m. And location. Whoops. Alright, we've got Winstead. Minnesota. Yay. Okay. Love it when I can find location easily. Okay, so 14th of January 2002, 6:36 a.m. and we've got Winstead. Okay. It has been interesting so far, I will say. Learn new things every day, as they say. Yes, it's so true. It is definitely true. And even when you listen to other people's charts, if you've got certain planets in those signs, then they can mean something for you as well. So, yeah. Okay, now we're back to Placidus, that's good. Alright, so we got all the details right, let's bring it up. Alright, Leopard Cheetah. So I like to start with rising sign. Rising sign is who we are, can be our appearance, people's first impressions of us, what we're about sort of thing, our identity. Now, you're a Capricorn rising, so Capricorn rising people, and there's a lot of energy there in that Capricorn house too. Your sun's there, so Capricorn rising and a Capricorn sun, your Venus is there. Looks like your moon's moved into Aquarius, still in that first house though, and Neptune and Mercury all in that first house. So wow, a lot of first house energy going there, so a lot of energy to do with about you and your identity and who you are, and not a lot of if you can see, there's not a lot of red lines in your chart, so not a lot of bad aspects either. There's a lot of cruisiness there in your chart. there's not too many. Yeah, the cruisy chart. I guess there's a little. Oh, we got trines. Yeah, pretty nice looking chart. Although a lot of first house stuff can be difficult too, I guess. Anyway, so Capricorn rising person is usually someone that's like quite hardworking, goal orientated. There's someone that is here to leave a legacy and like work hard and create something and like be really practical. They can sometimes come across cold because they are so practical and don't necessarily like to be overly emotional and show their emotions. Although with a first house moon, it could be someone that does show their emotions a little bit more because it's a part of their identity and who they are, their emotional self. So, and you know, when we're talking about first house, it's the way people can first see us and their first impression. So if your emotions and feelings are quite strong, then they're going to feel that as well. Going on a cruise sounds nice to me. Oh, so yes, I didn't even get into that. So Capricorn rising people have had it the toughest this last 2 years with all the Saturn energy in your house, the first house, identity, who you are and all that, and it's making you get serious and take responsibility for who you are and what you're doing in the world and what you're creating and what you're putting out there and the legacy you're going to leave behind and who you are as well, which ties into all of that. So Saturn has been really hard there for you. So Capricorns are going to start to get it a bit easier. The energy is going to ease, especially from next week as the Saturn and Jupiter move into Aquarius, sort of away from that energy. But for you, you're probably going to feel the intensity for a bit longer, maybe another year. Oh, another year and a half, 18 or another year. I'm sorry, but it's still going to be in your first house, so there's going to be more changes and more responsibility and more getting serious about like who you are and what you're doing and what you're creating and all that. Probably college, yeah, it's at least for another year because your first house is halfway through Aquarius there, so you're going to be experiencing all that stuff too, but it's going to be going from, you know, being on your sun and ego and touching on that identity stuff more to like the feelings and emotions and like of who you are and what you want and what you're doing and what you want to create and all that. So and like how you express yourself as well. So there's going to be it's going to probably feel a bit more restrictive and more hard and feel a bit heavier in the sense of that way of being able to express yourself and be that like unique different person too, because having first house Aquarian energy is usually someone that's like a bit unique or different or feels like they're like here for a higher purpose or something in some way usually. So yes, so a Sun Capricorn person is again so much very much like that it's that Capricorn rising energy. So just someone that's here to like create and work hard and all that. And it can be someone that like focuses like the first 30 years of their life until they go through their Saturn return on work and creating and doing all that stuff. And they don't really focus on like the home and family until like after the Saturn return, after 30 years old. That's when they'll like get serious about home and family and creating and like and who they're going to leave that legacy behind to, basically, because they've done that work to create that and do that. Then they've got to leave it to someone. So then that's when the focus comes in for home and family, basically. At least I have Twitch to show my true self. It has been so nice to express myself more on there. Oh, that's amazing. And like that Aquarius energy too, that's going to trigger on that that North Node when it moves across there is going to like be new opportunities and like bring in like destined things for you in the way of like being able to express yourself once it moves over that Mercury stuff, because you'll get, so Capricorns will still get it easier now. Anyone with moving out of that Capricorn energy will get easier, but because you've still got that Aquarius energy there in that first house, it's not going to just like become super easy for you now. It'll ease up a bit because Jupiter's moving with it now, and so it'll feel more expansive and the energy will feel lighter, and we'll feel like we get more little gifts along the way instead of like doing all the hard work and getting only rewarded at the end, which you can feel like now. Over the next 2 years, it'll feel like we're doing the work but getting little rewards along the way or seeing the benefits along the way in some way. So yeah, so it'll be like that for you, but it'll still be like quite tough and hard and heavy around that identity and who you are and expressing yourself and all that stuff too. And it's like not even necessarily if it's hard, but it's like just making you take more responsibility about it, about what you're putting out there about yourself. getting serious, I guess. That's more, that can be that Saturn energy too. And having Venus in that first house too can make for someone that is a little bit colder in relationships maybe, or doesn't, or, you know, is just like, or needs someone also that works hard just like them as well, and like is a hard worker and like is like practical and serious with their money and stuff like that. And that's what that person can be, someone that's practical and serious with their money. They want to like save and be up sooner so that they can have a legacy basically. It definitely feels a bit easier now, but I have to put in the effort. Yeah, you still have to put in your effort, but you should get the little rewards along the way. Okay, so let's look at the so your sun, moon, rising, all in that first house. So an Aquarius moon person can also be someone that's like the black sheep of the family, or someone that's a bit unique and different, or feels unique and different in some way. It's someone that definitely feels like maybe they are like either here for a higher purpose, or there's some like something. It's when it's to do with emotions and feelings though. It's like but Mercury's there too, so it's like expressing yourself in some different way, or some like inventive way, or like a new idea of like expressing yourself too, or something like that. But it's someone who's quite inventive, or changes themselves, or can, you know, as well with that Aquarian energy. It's just, you know, like I said, this can be someone that like wants to can maybe communicate on a bigger scale to more people and like help people in some way, with that Mercury Aquarius energy there in the first house. So let's have a look at the North Node and the solar eclipse energy for you with that Sagittarius South Node. So you're wanting to like come into new stories and new beliefs around so for you it's in the 12th house. So the 12th house is like the psychological state, the higher self, the intuition, our connection with like either God or and it can also be like where we like find escape, and like we can also self-sabotage ourselves and all that. There's that 12th house stuff. So releasing and letting go of any old stories or beliefs around you know, having a connection with either God or the universe maybe, or like having that really strong intuition and being able to connect into yourself and know like from yourself and be able to get those messages and be like sensitive and in tune. There's some like old stories or beliefs around that you need to let go of, that aren't serving you or aren't helping you, and being able to move into that North Node energy in that for you it'll be the 6th house of like having really a healthy body basically, and having healthy daily routines and practices. So you're moving towards the North Node of coming into new ways or new ideas of being able to be healthy and being able to like organize yourself and be able to like get the things done you need to in your day, and be healthy while you're doing it, and have like a strong body to be able to be healthy and get through those things that you need to, and having like healthy exercise routines or whatever it is in that North Node. But having like a really open mind there, and coming into like new ways to learn and process information there as well around that stuff, and new ideas, new opportunities, when you can release and let go of that 12th house psychological stuff, or that anything that's like self-sabotaging, that's holding you back, that's not healthy for your mind basically. So when you can release all that mind stuff, it'll help you to have that better body and daily practices and daily routines, because there's something in that 12th house that you need to let go of that's not healthy basically, that's not serving you anymore. So it could be, you know, the belief around that I don't need to meditate. I'm one of the rare people that can get away with it, and I just always am really practical with my emotions and stuff like that and whatever else, and I don't, you know, need to. But really you need to come into new beliefs of like that you need to meditate or something like that, or you need to have some like really healthy psychological practices or something, I don't know, maybe like that as well. Okay, Shredder, take care. 4:20 a.m. Nice timing. Oh, you're funny, Shredder. Take care, Shredder. Thanks for being here as always. I'll catch up with you soon. I appreciate it. Have a good sleep, Shredder. Yeah, so Leopard Cheetah. So you're wanting to come into new beliefs and find new healthy patterns and stuff like that help you to have a really good psychological mental state, so that you can like basically like listen to your body and ensure like what your body's telling you and what your body needs, and you know, how you're going to be able to like get through your day basically. Well, gaming gets my mind off things, or working on things in general that gets my mind off the negative. Yeah, so the 12th house can be like getting away, needing to, so also releasing, letting go of the need to like escape reality as well, or that you like, and it can be like focusing on, it could also be releasing and letting go of unhealthy behaviors around like escapism. So yeah, someone that games too much, or could be someone that you know, watches too much movies and fantasy and stuff like that and gets lost all the time and off out of the real world. They just want to like escape all the time. It's like releasing and letting go of that and coming into like new healthy ways of being in that sense. You are a good sportsman, Leopard. Gamer girl. Okay, yeah. So yeah, maybe it is. It's like not, you know, maybe it could even be like, this could be finding new ways to basically find that healthy mental state. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card for you if you'd like one, Leopard Cheetah. Just say yes if you do, and we'll just see what guidance we can get for you for the eclipse and that 12th house. Oops. It has been difficult mentally and emotionally with my relationship though. Would love a card. Okay. So, that could also be, so, all the Capricorn energy that we've been like focusing on and everything is all about the identity and who you are and all that, and it's left behind that like Cancer energy, which is all about relationships and nurturing and like having those like, really like, yeah, nurtured connections with that 7th house. So maybe because you've been focusing on building those really strong foundations about the self and all that, and that's where your focus has been, and it's been like more responsibility on that creating and the legacy and leaving behind. You haven't been able to focus the energy on those relationships. It's made it harder or more restrictive in some way because it's opposing that. So hopefully that eases up for you as that energy moves as well over the next year, and it eases, and maybe that's where, you know, you'll start to see little gifts and rewards come through too. We did have a lot of solar energy there last year, so for you, you know, mid last year definitely there would have been probably a lot of stuff like around relationships and identity and all that that would have set you on this path as well. Yeah, I feel like it's more so between us in the relationship. It's been on and off for 3 years. I'm just trying to see. Oops. Okay, let's see what this card says. Funny. Cards are always funny. So, let me put this camera on, even though, actually I won't, because I'll leave the chart up so we can look at that and relate to it. And Yosh is still sitting here in the camera space. And this camera is so good, my new camera. So Twin Flame, what a beautiful card, talking about relationships. That was a coincidence. My boyfriend just texted me. And now you got Twin Flame card. Do I need to say anything? No. So the answer to your question involves a spiritually based relationship. So you said that you've been on and off for 3 years, so it's probably something karmic going on. And if it's a twin flame connection, then sometimes that's where that push and pull can be with those connections, because we want to be together, but it's really difficult because it's so karmic and we've got so much growth and so much to do and learn together. And sometimes we get to the point where we've served that purpose. We no longer are going on the same path anymore. We've got what we need from each other. We've learnt those lessons. We've finished those soul contracts. And sometimes we need to move on and release and let go. And this energy right now is all because of that Scorpio energy we've had for the last 8 years too, is all about relationships and letting go and getting rid of toxic ones and anyone holding us back that like drains our energy, that like brings up trauma for us, that doesn't help us to like step into our power and be who we are and really go into the world and follow that North Node stuff in our direction and our destiny. So if the relationship is toxic, or if it doesn't make you feel good, or it doesn't, like, you need to be having those positive experiences, those optimistic ones, and not looking at someone with rose-colored glasses or idealizing them or any of that stuff, because that Neptune energy has been around so heavy for ages now, and it's helped making us deceive ourselves and not see things for what they really are and be too dreamy and over idealistic about things and people that aren't serving us, that we need to release and let go of. So yeah, it has been quite toxic, to be honest, but we want to be together. And that's probably that twin flame pull. You're being pulled together because it's karmic. And it could be because you haven't finished learning the lessons and there's still more to learn from each other. Or it's because you need the time away from each other to reflect and to look back and be able to see it from a different perspective or in hindsight, so you can see the growth and see the lessons maybe too. Obviously that's up to you which one it is, but now is like such an important time to like really tune into the synchronicities and the signs that are going on. So if we can really ground ourselves and get out of our own way and like be open to new things and new opportunities and the information coming through, then we can really see the messages and where we're supposed to be going in the real path. Definitely feels like we need time apart and feel better. And sometimes that all it is with relationships, is they need space so that you can reflect and you can like really feel whether, you really want to be with that person, whether you you wake up every day feeling better when they're in your life, or you wake up every day feeling good when you're just in your own energy because that person's draining. And sometimes we don't even know people are draining us until they're not with us anymore, and then we feel that lighter energy. And I hope that helps you today, Leopard Cheetah, and I wish you the best. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it, and thank you for letting me look at your chart. And I'm sending you lots of love to get through this eclipse and through all the relationship, twin flame stuff. It's definitely not easy. That's for sure. And especially during this time. Mixtrology, are you still here? You were here at the very start. I'm not sure if you're still around now. Oh, you are! Yay! Thank you for your patience and thank you for waiting. That was quite interesting. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Leopard Cheetah. I appreciate it too. I'm glad you got something out of it. Now, I'm going to bring up your chart, Mixtrology, and I'm going to run to the bathroom for 2 minutes and I'll be back. But let's bring up your chart first so we can have a look. Okay. Alright. Mixtrology. Now, is that a reference to astrology, mixtrology? I think I'm a little delayed. Oh, okay. 3rd of May. 1984. Oh, I'm so sorry. You've sent me privately. I'm so sorry. Okay. We'll make sure we bring them up separately. Okay, we need to cut off your details. got the right time. Okay, and location. Okay. Now, is it an astrology reference or something? Mixed astrology? Okay. Okay, I've got all those details right. Okay. Let me bring up your chart so I can remove your details. Thank you for the follow, Leopard Cheetah. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to remove your details from here. Now let me bring up your chart. Yes, astrology reference. Awesome. Okay, cool. So you know a bit about astrology then. That's exciting. Okay. I might know a lot about astrology. Why am I assuming a bit? You could be an astrologer. Okay. Oh. Have I got the right one? What am I doing? Oh my gosh, I'm having a terrible time with technology today. Probably because I need to go to the toilet and I can't think anymore. I'm sorry. Oh, come on. Where are you, chart? Why is it not coming up? Strange. Okay. Your chart says you're lagging in something. I'm still learning. Oh, you're still learning. We're all still learning. Okay, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, we're back. All right, so I like to start with rising sign. Rising sign is who we are. Our identity can be our appearance, can be first impressions of us that people see. So a Leo rising person. So Leo rising is usually someone that's like here to shine their light. They're here to like show others a way in some way, or to bring people together or something there. That Leo energy, it's very warm, it's loving. It's on the right one. Yeah, it's very loving energy, and again, it can be someone who's like really confident within their self, or even someone that can be a bit cocky maybe, that Leo energy, because they can just be like really sure of themselves, because Leos usually live from their heart, or they like act from their heart, or there's someone that definitely needs to like just always be like shining their heart and be in that loving energy, to be at their best basically. So that Leo person can also be someone that's like playful and fun, and that a lot of people just like to be around basically. They can be quite courageous and strong. It's the lion, so again, that's why they can be like either a good leader, or they can like bring people together because they can like support in some way, or just be like that, shining the light. It's that royalty energy too, so like they're the king energy, so that's why people can sort of like gravitate towards them as well. So there's nothing else there in that first house. Let's look at the sun, and see where your sun is, because that's definitely going to have effect on who you are, and your identity and whatnot, because it's the ruler of that first house. So the sun's up there in Taurus, so it definitely speaks for someone that is like, yeah, probably loving and sensual, and yeah, someone that people like, because that Taurian energy can be quite likable as well. They can also be quite stubborn, and don't like change necessarily, and sort of like get stuck, especially that fixed energy there with those signs. Someone that doesn't necessarily like change unless it's they're making the change. They don't necessarily like to be thrown upon them. Their financial security and money can be like a big part of who they are, and having that 10th house sun's definitely someone who is practical probably with their money, and he wants to like build and create and like manifest things, and really like either leave some kind of legacy behind, or just like build and create something here and do something big in some way, that's like that's about you as well, because it's that first house on identity. There's something about you and your identity and who you are, and that could be someone who's like has a career that's about them and their brand and who they are, and like they're out in the spotlight. So it could be someone who is is of that Leo energy, and whatever they're doing in their career is their branding's them basically. So that sun up there too, in Taurus, can be someone that likes to indulge as well, and likes nice food, or likes art, or beauty or beautiful things in some way. So it could be fashion or handbags or something like that. It could be someone who is like a fashion designer or something like that too, or into that sort of thing, or someone that like works in something like beauty services or something as well with that Taurian energy, or a cook or a chef or something like that as well, because it can represent food as well with that Taurus energy. They do like to eat and like to indulge as well. Yes, I'm pretty stubborn. I do have financial anxiety. Yeah, that's that Taurus energy, is a need for security, financial security there. So you've got Venus up there too in that 10th house, so it definitely speaks to someone that can make their money from their skills and abilities. And that 10th house, so your career is like related around your identity and who you are, and the skills and abilities you have, and your self-worth, and what you can do to put out there into the world and create based on all that stuff. And again, it can be that really loving energy too, and someone who's like quite grounded and quite practical with their money, because they need that to feel secure as well, and they need to be in a relationship with someone that's practical and secure with their money too, to feel that Venus there in that Taurus energy. And again, could be someone that's like quite sensual and Yosh, you okay? Quite sensual and quite loving, and someone that, come back over here, come on baby. And you're an artist, so someone that can make money through the beautiful things, so arts, creative things, beauty, anything like artistic and creative. So you can definitely make money there, and that's where the sun is shining too, so it's where you're lit up, the part of your chart that's lit up. Move forward or So, yosh. Okay, so yeah, and 10th house sun person 2 is usually someone that is quite driven and someone that is career and goal orientated and wants to create and create something and leave something here behind. And they're here to shine that out in the world in some way too, that sun up there. Okay, let's have a look at your moon and see how your moon is playing out. So moon in the 11th house in Gemini. So that would be someone maybe that has like a lot of friends or a lot of connections, or needs a lot of friends and a lot of connections to feel that emotional satisfaction and feel like good about themselves, or feel emotionally healthy or supported, or just that they feel like in that happy place, basically. Like they feel emotionally satisfied and stuff like that when they have like heaps of friends or heaps of connections, or many different friends and many different connections. And it could be also the moon there. It's like they could be someone that could be quite talkative as well, or someone that's quite expressive about their feelings and their emotions, and maybe doesn't hide them and shows them and puts them out there for everyone to see, isn't afraid to like express them or show them in some way. It could be someone that like feels a lot of different emotions and feelings too, like has up and down sort of energy, like they feel good and they feel bad and they have that sort of up and downness about them, maybe because of that Gemini energy. It can make someone a little bit more erratic too, or if not erratic, then have like a bit of anxiety or monkey mind or overthinking too with that Gemini moon person. But again, it can make someone like really playful and like really maybe even a bit immature sometimes with their feelings and emotions, and maybe a bit reactive even too at times. I'm pretty stubborn. You said that I'm an artist. Okay, yeah. So let's have a look at so your Mercury is up there in Taurus, because that's going to speak to your moon. Sorry, it's not in Taurus, it's in Aries. So again, that would make for someone that is a bit more reactive when it comes to expressing themselves, or someone that's just like could even be someone that's kind of a bit like it's my way or the highway when it comes to the way they feel as well, or just someone that is just basically speaks about their feelings, emotions, and doesn't really care what anyone thinks about them and just says them, or something there with that Aries energy. It's like don't caring, or it's like just like being just saying how it is, basically, something like that. I have ups and downs and anxiety, and like you could even feel like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders as well with that 11th house moon. Someone that feels like like they have to do something big, or that there's something more, or they can just feel that weight of the world in some way, emotionally on them, the weight of the world on their shoulders in some way, with the moon up in that 11th house. It could also be like the moon up there as well. Could be like the mother could have been someone that is was like really up and down as well, and like really sort of scattered with the way that they were, or maybe wasn't like consistent or something like that. Someone that was a bit more mutable and maybe like not as stable maybe, and a bit more airy-fairy, or just had many different interests or many different things that in their life, or something there with that moon Gemini energy too. Okay, so thank you for redeeming the singing bowl, leopard cheetah. As soon as we finish this reading, we will do the singing bowl. Okay, so let's have a look at the eclipse energy and see where it's hitting your chart, and what there is a need for you to release of and let go of, and the old stories and behaviors and beliefs you need to leave behind. And for you, that's in the 5th house. So there's something in the 5th house, like around like old stories or beliefs around like being able to like be in your heart and be true to yourself and be like childlike and have fun and do hobbies and stuff like that. Or there's something there that's like you're not really stepping into your heart in some way and being able to do what you want and play and have fun and be creative and have that like artistic creative side. There's some old story holding you back and being able to express that externally into the outer world and like be out in the world and like either do something on like a bigger scale or show something on a bigger scale in some way. It's stopping you. There's old beliefs or stories around that you know, maybe it's just like that you can't it could be like even like some kind of like immaturity or something, like the need to release and let go of immature like beliefs and behaviors or something like that that are just like not enabling you to step out into the world and like to basically like connect with people and like have new relationships and friendships and stuff like that as well, and connect with people like in new ways as well, like new you know, there could be like new organizations you connect with and new friendships and new friendship groups and new friendship circles, or even like connections and like of organizations and that can like help you out in the world and like help you on a bigger scale in some way and help you to like step into more of that heart energy, like what you love to do and like fulfill your passions and like really be within having that play and fun in your life. So maybe there's like something there where it's you don't feel like you can have that fun and play, and you need to get rid of that belief basically, because we need to have that balance of not just focusing on like all the outer world stuff but having that play and fun. Or it could be like playing too much and just focusing too much on like the play and the hobbies and being too immature and childlike and not growing up and taking responsibility and really stepping out into the world and bringing our gifts and showing ourselves and connecting with people and all that as well. She's a bit controlling. Oh, the mother. Okay, Gemini mother. Yeah, okay. Well, they can be a bit a Gemini moon mother energy can be a bit yeah, like I said, not as stable and a little bit more they can definitely like be someone that's more feisty as well. They can be like, but they can be like super nurturing and super loving and caring, but then they can have a side of themselves that wants to be really free and independent and all that as well. So yeah, there's that duality there in some way. Yeah, so that is where the eclipse energy is hitting you. For that Scorpio energy where you need to release and let go of any old relationships and situations that are holding you back. It's mainly around like relationships and people, and toxicity there is that fourth house of the home. So any home, like people living in your environment or that are affecting your ability to like nurture and care for yourself and be in that loving place, in that loving environment where you're supported and nurtured and cared for. Any like relationships or toxic people in your life in that area, and it could be like our roots into like family that are like holding us back, or that are just no longer on our path. And like, I'm not saying to cut off any family or anything like that, but you need to like come into healthier relationships and transform those relationships so that they're better. Coming into your own power in those family dynamics or the home or something in some way, really coming into your own power there. So yeah, if you'd like a card mixtrology just for the eclipse energy and just to see if there's a little bit more there we can give you some guidance for, just say yes and I'll pull a card for you. Did you want a card mixtrology? Okay. This is your card. I've said this all day. It's funny. The cards never lie. So let's turn on the card so you can see it. Even though Yosh is still here. So I'll bring it up to this camera first because this is much clearer. Family harmony. What were we just saying? Funny. As I said, the cards never lie. Either does astrology, we know that. Don't we, mixtrology? Okay, so family harmony is your card. So yeah, finding that. So it's like I said, it might not be having to release and let go of people. You know, especially if like it was a young, you know, if you were someone young and you're living with your parents still, you rely on them, you need them, but coming into healthier relationships with them, finding that family harmony so that you can all not be in those toxic situations and not be like drawing toxic energy out of each other either, or like giving each other toxic energy, bringing out the best in ourselves and being able to nurture each other and have that family harmony. So yeah, I hope that helps you today, mixtrology, and I hope that gave you a different perspective of your chart from what you know or anything like that, or helped you to see some things that maybe you haven't seen before or anything like that. I just hope it helped in some way. And thank you for letting me look at your chart. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And yes, thank you. I assume that faces to the card because it was like spot on with the family thing, which is crazy, but not crazy because we know that's what happens. It's funny. Who is next? T White, are you still here? Now I'm going to do just a quick singing bowl. We'll ground the energy again, and it was redeemed with channel points by Leopard Cheetah. So we might do the heart chakra, since it's been a bit about heart energy and stepping into our heart and really being in our heart energy. And that heart space. So we'll do the heart chakra singing bowl. If I can find the little the little stick. Oh, we might not be doing it. It's okay. I was using this last night, that's right. Okay, so this one can be very high pitched. T White will bring up your chart in a moment. And this one's the heart chakra. It can get very high pitched, but it's really good for getting us back into our heart energy. Yeah, so, all right. Gosh. You're looking forward to the eclipse, mixtrology? Yeah, same. I am too, actually. I'm looking forward to all the energy over the next couple of weeks with all the Saturn energy and Jupiter energy. Saturn-Jupiter big conjunction next week with this eclipse. There's a lot of exciting things and new opportunities and just so much good stuff to come if we open up to it and we release and let go of all the crap holding us back. So, yeah. Hey, Tully Dog. Okay, so T White, thanks for your patience. Let's bring up your chart. All right, so where's my browser gone? Here we go. Oh my gosh, it's 5 to 7 already. Wow, okay. I might close the queue. Is it queue close? And then just do whoever's left in the queue for tonight. And yeah, anyone else will be able to look back at the VOD from today or the individual signs once I break them up on here, on the highlights or on YouTube. Make sure you join Discord too, where I'll post them in there, and there's daily information about the transits and what's going on as well. And I'll post in a write-up of everything I spoke about today in the start of this video with the general overview. I'll post that in Discord as well for everyone to read over. Some people prefer to listen, some people prefer to read. We all absorb and learn information in different ways. Okay, so let's bring up your chart. Oh, hydrate. Thank you, Leopard Cheetah. I do need a drink. I definitely don't drink enough water when I'm on stream. Thank you for using your points. Okay, so let's go T White. T White 81. All right. No. And we've got. Hello, Mala Baila? Marla, thank you for being here. Oh, thank you. Thank you for bringing your lovely energy here. I appreciate it. And thank you for the follow. It's very kind of you. So thank you very much. It means a lot. Okay. T White, you didn't give me the year of birth. If you prefer, you can whisper that, and we can keep it private. But if you don't mind, then I just need your year of birth. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. Ooh, where's my mouse going funny? Hello, FMG. Thank you very much for the follow, and thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Oh, Baila. Mala Baila? Mala is your name. Oh, that's really nice. Dance in Spanish. Do you dance? If you're Spanish, you might, I guess. Oh, good. I came in the raid. I've just been snoozing this whole time. Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging around. I appreciate it. Everyone will definitely be able to look back and watch these, and I'll cut all the signs up into highlights as well so everyone can see the individual sign easily. Okay, so time, let me get that up for you. T White, 1:30. Alright, and we've got location. Okay, Charlottetown. PE. Cool. Okay. Now let's make sure I've got the right details. Now we've got 29th of September, we've got 1:30 p.m. and we've got Charlottetown. Okay, so let's bring up your chart. Okay, here we go. So I like to start with rising sign. Now, rising sign is, yes, I haven't been, at the dance studio in a while because of COVID. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely made those sorts of things more difficult. We've had to do more things at home, haven't we? That's for sure. Okay, so I like to start with rising sign. Rising sign is like our identity, who we are. It can be our appearance, how we come across, people's first impressions of us, what we're sort of putting out to the world, what we're rising to be. Rising sign. You're a Sag rising person. So Sag rising is someone that is usually quite optimistic, quite positive, someone that is has an open mind and wants to like learn and grow or expand in some way. There can be someone that is also quite social, and a lot of people like to get along with, or like to hang out with, or be around, because of that real positive, optimistic energy that they have. They can also be someone that does really well in like social sports as well, because they have that fiery energy, so they can be a part of like teams and when it comes to like that fiery stuff as well, like they're quite passionate as well, especially when it comes to like their beliefs and what they're learning or taking in or growing or expanding in that time. They can also be someone that overindulges as well because of that Jupiter energy, someone that maybe overdoes it, or could even, like, if they're not in that space of where they're like in that happy, optimistic, positive energy, and they're going with the flow, and they're not in that space, and if they're not in that energy and they're in that more self-sabotaging energy where they need an escape in some way, and they can sometimes get lost in drugs or alcohol, or just like even like being promiscuous or something like that, if there's that negative side, if they're not doing that positive positive Sagittarius stuff, that having those healthy ways to burn that fire inside them as well, which is usually through that expanding in some way. There can also be someone that like bumps themselves quite a lot, or is clumsy or something like that as well. Hello, Hunger of Mystic, how are you? Thank you for being here, and thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So they can be someone that is clumsy or knocks themselves as well, especially when they're like thinking about stuff and not like focusing or whatever on what they're doing, and can also be someone that's not really necessarily good with time and being on time and sticking to things, and they can be like, sometimes they can commit to too many things because they think, I can do this, I can get all this done, but then they're like late, or they just can't get everything done, and they fall through on a commitment sometimes. Oh, hello, welcome, Hunger. Nice of you to be here. So I just do mini birth chart readings. These are just, we go through your sun, moon and rising, just a quick overview of them and how they might be interacting, and then we just have a look at a quick aspect and what's happening and how it might be playing out currently in your life and your chart. And today we're looking at the solar eclipse and where it's happening for you. But I have closed the queue for today because it's been on for 3 hours now, and it's getting late. It's 7 p.m. for me, and I still have to feed my cats and do all that stuff. So yeah, after these few readings are left in the queue, I will jump off. But make sure you follow if you haven't already, so that next time I'm on, you can be here, so you can get a reading, or join Discord as well, because I post some daily information in there with what's going on, and yeah, there's a bit more going on in there. Let's look at where Jupiter is and see how that sort of rising sign would play out a little bit more, maybe, because it's the ruler of that first house. And I also want to talk about that Neptune too. So quickly, just that Neptune there on the ascendant would sort of make someone probably see things with rose-colored glasses or rose-tinted glasses, or be a little bit maybe over-optimistic in some way, or sort of get lost in fantasy and not be in reality, and they over... that's good. Okay. Let me turn my music down a little, I think. It's a bit loud. Okay. We might just go to a different one. This one's a little bit peakish, I think. That's a bit better, I think. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so, oh, totally, thanks for the information. Greetings from Argentina. Oh, that's awesome. Wow. Well, greetings from Australia. So that's really cool. What time is it there for you? Yeah, so Jupiter is up there in the 10th house, and it's in Libra, so it's definitely going to make for someone that is like, yeah, does have that optimism and that like that social person, that like someone that a lot of people probably get along with, or they have a lot of relationships or social connections. It can be like someone that likes to have a lot of friends and connections because they like people to like them as well, and they like that people like that optimistic energy about them as well, because they probably because they can be quite balanced. Especially if in that Sagittarian positive energy of going with the flow and being really optimistic and all that, then a lot of people could definitely want to be around them. So that 10th house, Jupiter 2, can exactly where someone can expand out in the world in some way, and they're here to like make goals and maybe leave some kind of legacy behind it, and build something. 6:06 a.m. and not sleeping yet. Oh, whoa! Did you have a big night, or is it just stayed up from not being able to sleep? Maybe it's all this intense solar eclipse energy and the moon, or the dark moon, maybe. Or maybe you were just doing stuff. Yeah, so let's have a look at where your sun is and see how the sun is playing out. So the sun's in the 9th house and it's in Libra. So yeah, so sun, Libra, we've got quite a lot of energy going on in there in Libra. So that Libra energy makes for someone who's like quite balanced, quite harmonious. They can be someone that's quite beautiful or represents beauty in some way, or likes art or artistic things, or like it's like fashion or clothes or even shopping or something like that maybe. They're just like represent beauty in some way, or like beautiful things or something like that. It can be someone that is like a people pleaser too, and that's where that relationship thing comes in. They can like everyone, like they want everyone to like them, and they want to get everyone to get along, and then they want to get along with everyone too, and that's where they can be a bit of a people pleaser and not always speak their truth and what they want because they're too busy trying to keep the balance and harmony. They can also be someone who's indecisive and finds it hard to make decisions because they can see many perspectives or many different ways of looking at things, or they can see the two sides of the scale, so they can see the good and the bad, or whatever it is, the different situations. So that 9th house Libra person too could be someone that has really good, really strong beliefs as well, and it could also be someone that with that sun up there too is here to like teach others in some way, or and it could be about relationships or something in there, in that 9th house up there with the Libra, and that 9th house has got Virgo energy, so it's being of service in a way of either teaching or sharing information, in a way of learning. So yeah, there could be some kind of teacher guru energy up there in that 9th house sun. Or just someone that likes to travel a lot and likes to take in a lot of different cultures and different perspectives from either traveling and like learning and absorbing information. That Sag rising person too could be someone that likes to travel a lot and likes different cultures and different things and all that. So that sun there, that in that 9th house, that could be someone that likes to get around and expand themselves through travel and cultures and learning new things and exploring and doing all that as well. Maybe it's I couldn't sleep, so keep awake, and then I discovered your stream, so I already turned on the notifications for next time. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Hunger of Mystic. Where I'm at, also, if that is really you in the PFP, you are very handsome. Oh. Oh. What is PFP? To check it out. Okay, so and what did I say? Someone of beauty, and you said you're very handsome. There you go. So sun Libra person can be someone that is very beautiful, or a male, very handsome. And so okay, so the moon is also up there in that 10th house in Libra as well. It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's up there in Libra as well. So, profile pic. Okay, we'll have to check it out. and see if the astrology is correct. Yeah, so it can also be someone that cares about their appearance too, as well, with that Libra energy. Someone that like likes to look nice as well. So moon in Libra can make someone like maybe come across a bit colder with their feelings and emotions too, because they are that people pleaser, and they like can see many different perspectives as well, and they don't necessarily like to like upset anyone or like push people's buttons necessarily, because they like that peace and harmony. So yeah, they definitely like to keep the balance and all that there. That 10th house Libra person too could be someone that has a lot of like really good like work connections and a lot of like work friendships or something like that as well, or just like gets along with like emotionally like connects with like people when it comes to like goals and creating and like work and stuff like that, like when it comes to the responsibility stuff and being responsible and all that. It can be someone that that 10th house, like they feel like either the weight of the world, like not the weight of the world, but like they've got a really heavy responsibility to like achieving something or having some kind of goals or legacy to leave behind, or just like building something. There's like emotional connection there. And it can even be like someone with the 10th house moon person could be someone that follows a career of like the mother, or works with the mother, or the mother has something to do with the career and what they do, or the main caregiver. It can be the father sometimes, if the father was the main caretaker growing up, but it's like some kind of like family, and it could even just be family with the moon, because it's that nurturing family Cancer energy. So it could be someone that has a career from the family or mother, or legacy that's left behind that they follow on and take on, or something there. So there's what's the Mercury? And so Mercury is in Scorpio there. It's in that 10th house. So definitely makes someone like, more expressive about their goals and their desires and all that, and what they want to like create and build. But that Mercury person too, Mercury Scorpio person, can be someone that is like quite psychic and intuitive and can pick up on other people's feelings and thoughts as well, especially when it's close to that, well, it's not that close to that moon actually. Which tarot deck do you have? I want a new one for Christmas. My parents want to buy me something, so I decided to have a new one, but I don't know which one. I have the Rider-Waite one and Dark Mirror Oracle deck. I think that you need to just like find cards and like look at the pictures of them and see if they connect with you, and whether you can like tell a story from them, basically. Because like all tarot decks are different too, and like sometimes it's hard to connect with certain ones because they don't resonate with you. So I think it's important to like try and see if you can see the pictures of the cards first and see whether they mean anything to you or connect with you or like light you up or whatever. But I have just the traditional Rider-Waite, and then I have this other tarot that's I don't know. I don't know where the little dropping things, that the little book is, but I have like another set that's like traditional but not traditional pictures sort of thing. Which I don't find I connect with as much as the traditional Rider-Waite. And then I have Oracle. I've got fairy cards and angel cards, and I've also got a new tarot deck coming, which I can't wait for Christmas as a gift. So I will show you all that when that comes. It'll come either at Christmas or just after, and I'll be able to share those cards with you all because it's the most amazing deck ever. I'll just tell you what it is, I guess. It's the Spirit Science deck. So if you haven't seen it, Google Spirit Science. It's actually called, it's actually got another name. I can't think what they're called now. But yes, there's the Spirit Science Tarot deck, which is so beautiful and amazing, and I know I can connect to that because they've based it on astrology and stuff like that too, so it's pretty cool. Patch Tarot, that's what it's called. Patch Tarot. So yeah, it's from Canada though, so yeah, it's going to take a while to get here, and yes, I can't wait for it to come. But yes, so definitely like find a deck that you can connect with. That's the most important thing. So T White. So yeah, there's definitely like a lot of energy up there in that 10th house. So it's definitely like feeling like you probably have to leave some kind of legacy behind in some way. And that's where your expansion and your growth is too, with that Jupiter up there. It's like being able to do that, and there's like opportunities there that can present themselves for you in life with that as well. And growth there. There's a lot of growth in that 10th house around career and goals. Yeah, so that's the basics of your sun, moon, and rising. Let's have a look at where the solar eclipse is happening for you. Actually, I just want to look at Venus because there's so much Libra energy there. So your Venus is there. Oh, it's in Scorpio in that 11th house. So that can make someone when it comes to like love, they need like really deep, intense connections, and they don't want any of this like surface level stuff. And that's going to be in your relationships too, with that Venus there. And you could be quite loving and keep your like friends quite close as well, and like that keep your friends close and enemies closer. It could be that kind of concept too there with that 11th house Scorpio energy as well. But it's definitely someone that can like make their money basically from like it could be like from like occult things, or from like friendships and connections that are like deep and like honest and truthful. And it can even be like someone that experiences like a lot of transformations through like connecting with people, and like through friendships as well. And there's like that deep need of like connection with friends or something in some way that really help to like help you to like make your money basically, and to make money basically, and do those like Libran things in with your goals and all that too. So that Scorpio Venus person can be someone that is not necessarily trusting of relationships as well, or someone that could like put up like barriers as well, and walls and stuff when it comes to love and relationships, because they can like feel things quite sensitively as well when it comes to love. And it's probably quite emotional when it comes to your money and making your money as well. Scorpio Venus is just very deep and intense and emotional, and very it can be like very empowering and transformative when we get into those relationships that bring up all that trauma and all that crap basically. So let's have a look at and like that's going to be probably something for you there with like relationships or money, is like a deep releasing and letting go of anything that's like toxic, and like any like deep truths that need to come up around like money and how you're making it and what you're doing with your money as well. And the need to like release and let go of anything toxic, any behaviors, any people that are like draining your energy, any relationships are, or anything tied to like relationships and money as well that's like holding you back. So the North Node energy is in the 7th house for you, which is all about relationships and moving towards like healthy relationships, new ways of connecting with people, new ways of sharing with people as well. And you're moving away from that Sagittarius energy, and that Sag energy for you is in the 1st house. So it's like that need of like needing to be independent and be by yourself and do everything alone, and there's a need to like go and be with others and connect with others and have relationships and like do things with other people, whether that's business partnerships as well, or whether it's just relationships that are supportive and can help you grow out in the world, or whatever it is. But there's a need to like release and let go of the need to like be independent and do everything alone, or any old stories or beliefs around you as a person and your identity that are holding you back. And it could be the way that you dress and that you show yourself, or your appearance as well. You might need to go through changes within that, and there might be new opportunities and new ideas that come around this, like, and how you present yourself, or how you can be, or what you're putting out into the world, or what what you the way that you present yourself and dress as well is definitely like a big thing here with identity and who we are. So yeah, and it's that needing to be like independent and do everything alone, and move, and especially that Neptune is there too. So it's definitely like there's like being over idealistic about that too, and like thinking that you can do everything by yourself when you can't. We need like connections and people in our lives. Hi Emberly, thanks for being here. Make sure you follow so next time I'm on you can get a reading. I'm sorry I've been on for just over 3 hours now, so I'm just going to finish who's in the queue and then I'm going to jump off. But yeah, you can see my schedule below in the About Me to see when I'm on next. Or actually probably and you can join Discord, but I'm going to update my About because I'm going to change my times around a little bit during the week. I might not do those early mornings anymore. I'm just going to see, so anyone following Discord if you haven't already. And yeah, there's more information and daily information there too. Make sure you follow so next time I'm on you can get a reading. And I'll be doing the sound healing. We've reached the community challenge, so that make sure you follow for that. You'll get a notification when I'm doing the sound healing so that you can come be a part of that and take in all the energy to help release and bring in all this new energy for the next 6 months and what the eclipse is going to bring for us. So that will be on my Tuesday night, which might be like your Tuesday morning wherever you are, possibly. Or it could be your Monday night, just depends. So yeah, make sure you follow so that you get that notification as well. And anyone that doesn't know about my giveaway, anyone that subs this month up until Christmas, anyone that gives bits or tips me, and it's any amount, there's no limits either, in this whole month will go in the draw to win one of 3 free readings. I'm going to be giving away 3 full readings. They're an hour to an hour and a half each. We go through way more in depth of your chart than this. We go through we can go through where you've been in life, what you're going through, what's going to come up. We can go through relationships. We can go through trauma and healing. We can go through career and like life path and all that sort of stuff. There's so many different things different charts we can bring in to look at all these different things in our life. So that's where your focus is, TY, and there's definitely there with that Venus there, and that 11th house is something with relationships, and definitely a need to let go of anything that is toxic and holding you back there for sure, and stepping into those new relationships that don't make you maybe those relationships where you're not over idolizing people or seeing people for not who they are or something there, maybe too, because you've got that Neptune there on that ascendant. Would you like a card, T White, just to see if we can give you any more advice for the eclipse energy? Oh, Yosh. We'll just see who's next in the queue while we just see if T White would like a card. So Bewitched, oh, if you're still here, Bewitched, I'd love to look at your chart for you. You were here a little while ago, so I'm not sure if you still are, but you might have been patient. But if not, then we'll look next time, because I think you might have actually said you had to go, now I think about it. Did you want a card, T White? Oh, you're here, Bewitched, yay! Okay, awesome, yay. We're going to do you next, so if you want to post your date of birth, your time of birth, and your location, you can do it in chat, whisper, or Discord, and we can bring up your chart and have a look. And thank you for your patience, and thanks for waiting. So T White, I'm not sure if you're still here. You might have missed part of your reading. Hopefully you'll watch it back. You're not here to get a card, so we'll just move on. And we'll look at Bewitched 11's chart now. Okay, let's bring up your chart and have a look. Okay. Oh, hey, honey. I'll feed you soon, my beautiful girl. Okay. Okay, so for location, I have a bit of difficulty sometimes with location. I've got Brian, it says Wise Country in brackets and then TX, or Brian Brazos Country TX. I'm not sure if it probably won't make much difference with the latitude, the longitude, sorry. Okay, but it's good to get it right anyway. All right, so let's bring up your chart. And again, thank you for your patience and thanks for waiting. Okay, so I'll just double check we got the right details. 26th of January 2000 and 4:01 a.m. Okay, yeah, now let me bring it up. Okay. All right. Doing this left-handed today, so I'm a tiny bit slower than normal because I've got that camera on my right side now. Okay, so where is your chart? There we go. Okay, so I like to start with rising sign. Our rising sign is like our identity, who we are. Born on Australia Day. Oh yeah. Funny. Who we are, our appearance can be the way that we come across, the way we dress, the way people first see us. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, so a rising sign, Sagittarius, another rising Sag. Oh, that's lovely. I'm a Sag moon, so I like Sag energy. So a Sag rising person is usually someone that's like quite optimistic and positive, someone that can be the life of the party. They can be someone that's quite social and that people like to be around and that they get along with, I guess, because they've got they're vibrating off that good energy that people want to be around because it's expansive. They can also be someone that is quite expensive and they like growth and like they want to expand in some way, so they might have like real strong philosophical interest or really strong beliefs as well. They can have a Sag person, so they could be someone that's like quite spiritual or quite into religion or something like that as well. Or they could be someone that just is like really interested in like knowledge and information and learning and studying basically, because they want that growth and expansion. It can also be someone that likes to travel or likes different cultures and growing in something in some way, or they like traveling overseas or going far distance places or something like that as well. There is Chiron there near that ascendant too, with Pluto in that 12th house. So there's some like big wounds there around that Sag energy, around the identity in the self, and it's like goes into basically like the psychological state and the mental state and like affects you somewhere there. So having that 12th house Sag energy could be someone that like self-sabotages themselves in some way, especially when they're not like in that happy positive vibration energy and going with the flow, the universal flow, and like trusting that everything's working out for them. When they're not in that energy and they're more in that negative depressive state, or they can go through like dark nights of the soul and stuff like that quite a lot too. But there's like some really deep transformative healing, or really either like some kind of trauma that like comes with you through life in those areas of like being able to be free and being able to like have like a really good strong connection with like God or the universe in some way. And there's some like wounds around that you can like step into and heal, and it could be a situation that comes up in life, or it could be something that comes along with you for a while. And when you can really step into that and heal that trauma around something there about identity and who you are, and like being free and being that optimistic positive person and all that stuff, and like that Sag energy, then you'll be able to like help others in some way and be able to share that, and others be able to like step into that power and overcome that and heal that as well, because that's what Chiron energy does. The wounded healer, once we heal our wounds, we can then help others heal, and it can be like a huge part in our chart that we need to focus on. So there could be like a huge part there with you and your mental state and the mind and keeping it balanced as well. So let's have a look and see where Jupiter is, just to see a little bit more about that first house, that identity, that rising sign. So it's down, Jupiter's down there in the 4th house, so that's like the home and family. It's in an Aries though, but that's okay when it's like a Sag sign, because there's that fieriness there. So yeah, it could be someone that is like fiery and passionate about life, and even someone that's like fiery and passionate about like their family as well, and their family could like mean a lot to them, and having like some kind of like nurturing place to call home or something like that. Their home could be like a big part of their beliefs and who they are, or their home life as well. So let's have a look at your sun and see how that's playing out. So your sun is down there in Aquarius in the 2nd house. So an Aquarius, and it's there with Mercury, and when Mercury and the sun are together, it's quite nice. And so yeah, and you do have Neptune there on your sun, so we'll talk about that, but let's just look at the sun first and Aquarius energy. So Aquarius sun person is usually someone that like feels like they're here for a higher purpose, or they're here to do something big, or there's some kind of like humanitarianness about them where they want to do something for the world, or they want to do something bigger, or they want to help the environment, or help animals, or there's that something where they want to, or they could be someone that's like super inventive, or comes up with like really good ideas, especially with Mercury there too in that 2nd house. Could be someone who's really like intellectual and just comes up with like heaps of really good ideas, and could be someone that has like really good skills and abilities too, and is like able to like use them and use their hands in some way as well to use like with those skills and abilities, with that Mercury there. Or it could just be someone that like is really good at like expressing and communicating, and that's where their skills and ability come from, is like being someone that's like out in the limelight and quite expressive, and they're someone that's quite confident, has good self-worth, that they can go out into the limelight and express themselves. So that Aquarian energy there could be also someone that feels a little bit different or unique as well with Mercury, and someone that thinks differently and has different ways of like doing things or coming up with things. Could be someone that like learns in a different way as well to others, and just like there's like a difference there where they just aren't the same as others in some way, or just a little bit unique or different there. And let's look at that Neptune there. So Neptune on the sun can make someone a bit, so someone that's a bit over idealistic, or wears rose-colored glasses, or deceives themselves in some way maybe, or is just too airy-fairy and sort of off with the fairies all the time, or just escapes too much into fantasy and doesn't stay in reality, or is just too dreamy, or it could just be someone that's like super creative and super romantic and passionate and like just really artistic as well, but because they get so swept in that, they get lost in it as well maybe sometimes. Or that even like that too could be like that energy could be around their skills and abilities, like they doubt themselves, or they don't see clearly how good they are, or the confidence they can have, or how confident they are, or something there too with their self-worth and confidence. The sun there and Mercury there usually makes someone quite confident, so I don't know, maybe they are cocky. There's the other side of it, I guess. I'm currently studying psychology and going to be grad school, so that makes sense. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's like the mind. Mercury's the mind too. So that second house can be our skills and abilities and where we make our money. So yeah, you could be making your money from those Mercury things as well, or that Aquarius stuff, which is like helping people helping people basically. So let's have a look at Uranus, because there's a bit of Aquarian energy down there, just to see what Uranus is doing. Oh, sorry, Uranus is there. I'm so silly. Is in that house too. So yeah, definitely make someone like the black sheep maybe, or they're different in some way, or that's like where they need to like their skills and abilities too, somewhere where they can like really like break free in a way, like do something different, break free, either like be inventive or something, or create something that's just like different to everyone else but like helps in some way, or like does something big, or it can also be someone who's maybe a little bit more erratic with their communication, or just like speaks differently as well, or just communicates differently in some way, in a unique way. There's something unique about you, that's for sure, or something unique about your skills and abilities. Let's look at your moon. So the moon is up there in the 10th house, and it's in Libra. I think the previous chart was a moon Libra person too, with the Sag rising. Oh, I'm autistic. Okay. So your third house is Pisces, and Mars is there. So just because you're saying that about autistic, third house is like our mind and communication and connection and stuff like that. And Pisces energy can be a bit off with the fairies, and like they think in a different way, and they communicate in a different way, and they their ideas are different, and their mind thinks differently, because it's quite creative, and it's like really compassionate, and it's like really sensitive, and it's not like a normal mind, in a sense of like it's just super sensitive. There's just like so much like mental stimulation going on in the way of emotions and feelings and all that, and it's like it's like a higher connection to like a connection to a higher mind as well, with that Pisces energy there. Let's look at your moon again. So I was saying moon in 10th house is usually someone that is like quite emotionally driven when it comes to like their goals, or their what they're like sort of doing in the world to like build or create, or the legacy they're building, or something like that. And it could be something tied in with the mother. Maybe the mother's leaving some kind of legacy behind, or some kind of like career path to follow, or something, or following in the mother's career or something. Or the mother could just have like a big influence on like your goals, and what you want to like create in the world, and like what you're sort of like doing career wise, or doing out there to like build something. A moon and Libra person is usually someone that's quite balanced, that can like get along with people and likes everyone to like be in harmony as well. And they can also be someone that can be like cold and come across cold, because they don't necessarily like have like they don't they can come across cold because they can see like many perspectives. So with that Libra person, they could like feel many different things, in the way of like they could feel the emotions of like being really positive and stuff like that, and feel the emotions of being negative, because they can see like many different perspectives. That Libra energy represents the scales. It can be someone that is either really balanced with their emotions, or it goes on both sides of the scales and can be up and down as well. So there can be that, depending on whether they have like really good perspective or not, and they can like tap in and like tune into their emotions and see that, because sometimes the moon Libra person's too intellectual, and it's hard to get really into the emotions and connect with like that real true feeling, because it's very in the mind and stimulated, and when they talk about their emotions and feelings, it's more from an intellectual point of view more than an emotional point of view. I don't know if, I guess intellectual is the right word, but if you're not cold, but What else about Libra moon? Again, the Libra moon person could be someone that is like quite loving and like is quite quite popular as well. They can be with that Libra moon energy because like that's those feelings, emotions radiating out, and it's like real balanced and it can be like quite fulfilling when you have like really good social connections as well. With that moon there, it's because it can be our local environment too. So having like really good like relationships that are balanced and harmonious can be really important to that moon person. It could even be someone that has like a career that is in like the beauty field or something beautiful or artistic or creative. Oh, you said something about being an artist, didn't you? Yeah, so 10th house moon there could be someone that like expresses their creativity and all that through their work and their goals and their what they're like trying to build and create, and it could be something of like beauty or harmonious or artistic or something like that there with the moon there in that 10th house. Or something like quite feminine or with women as well, a career or something that helps women or works with women in some way, or has a lot of women and a lot of women feminine support as well. Okay, so let's just look at Venus quickly and just see where your Venus is because of that moon Libra energy. So yeah, Venus is there in the first house, and it's in Capricorn. So yeah, it could make someone like a bit colder when it comes to relationships and a bit more practical and serious, and someone that like doesn't like to get maybe overly emotional within relationships, especially if they're like that people pleaser energy too. But again, so that can make someone that's like really hardworking too, with that Venus in that first house, and that moon in that 10th house, really hardworking, and like someone that's like good at taking on responsibility and like looking after their money and being practical with their money as well. Hello, Asvizgero. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the follow. This is the last reading for tonight, but you followed now, so you'll get a notification when I'm on next. And I'll be able to look at your chart some other time and make sure. Thank you. Hope you have a lovely night anyway, or day. And if anyone hasn't joined Discord yet, make sure you do. I'll just put the link there, so that you can get the daily posts as well, and you'll get the write-up of the eclipse and what's the energies and how it's affecting us all in a collective as well, once I post that later tonight or tomorrow morning for you. So yeah, so let's have a look at the eclipse energy and where it's hitting for you in your chart and how it might be affecting you. Oh yosh, I've got cards and stuff all over the place. I'm sorry, baby. You can come back here now. You're just harassing me because you're hungry. Okay, so now the Sag energy, which is like the solar eclipse, is happening on Monday, which is all about releasing and letting go of old stories and beliefs that are no longer serving us. And for you, it's in that first house stuff, and it's all about the identity and who you are and what you can, maybe even like your appearance and the way you dress and all that, the way you present yourself. Holding on to like other people's beliefs or old stories around this that it could even be that you're not pretty enough, or that you don't dress good enough, or that your appearance isn't, or other people telling you stories about your appearance that you don't dress the way that they think you should, or you don't show yourself the way that they think you should, or some stories around that too. There's a need for like the identity and to step into like new beliefs and new stories around who you are and what you're here for, and like can even be like the way you present yourself, and again like the way you dress. It might be like you might start to change the way you dress or something like that too, because you're not listening to like how everyone thinks you should be, but you want to do it your way. And that's very Sag energy like too, to do it their way and dress the way they want to and be the way they want to and present themselves the way they want to. And you're moving towards that North Node energy though. So it could be something around also the need to like do everything independently and by yourself. And like moving away from that need to like even like feel like you just need freedom all the time, or you need to be freedom and need to escape or something, but moving towards like the better beliefs around those things of identity and who you are, and that you can be who you are, not get lost in relationships maybe as well, because that Libra energy, someone can like be someone that gets lost in relationships and loses themselves with relationships or with other people. But that seventh house is like moving towards like new ways of connecting, new ways of relating with people, new relationships, new ways of having relationships and sharing. There's new growth in that area of relationships for you over this next year, and this weekend and this solar eclipse that's coming, and is very much like you have to release and let go of anything in those old beliefs and stories around you and identity and appearance or anything there, so that you can move into that identity of who you are and be strong and go into those connections with relationships and other people. And again, this could be like thinking that you have to do everything by yourself, and knowing that you can relate and connect with other people, and like maybe you didn't think you could have the relationships that you could have, that they weren't going to, there could be old beliefs around that too, that like you are always going to be alone, and that no one will ever be what you're like looking for or live up to your expectations or something there as well. But if you open up and like start to connect with people and grow in that area of relationships, you'll see that maybe that people can be there and help you, and you can have healthy relationships that do help you to be more of who you are and stuff like that, or honor who you are, or maybe it's not always not the relationships you thought you'd have. There's going to be different relationships that come into your life that aren't like the ones you've had in the past as well. Yeah. So that's your chart, Bewitched. That was your reading. If you'd like a card, just comment yes, and I'll pull one for you, and we'll see what further guidance I can give you for that eclipse energy. Thank you for letting me look at your chart. Thank you very much for your patience. I appreciate that, and for coming here. Thank you for letting me look at your chart, of course. So let's see what the eclipse energy has for you. And this card is jumping out. Oh, there we go. So cut your cords. Josh has moved now, so we can actually turn this other camera on. Oh, and now he's like come back there as I said it. Oh, funny. Yep, the camera's black because Yosh is in it. Oh my gosh, so funny. Okay. Oh, Yosh. We were just about to put a card down. He obviously doesn't want us to. So we've got cut your cords. God, these cards look good on my new camera. Okay. So yeah, cutting your cords. So this one says, ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. So yeah, releasing and letting go of any past relationships, any old beliefs around like those relationships, and any beliefs around like you being able to be who you are in those relationships, and that maybe finding new beliefs around and like having new optimism and opening up to what the universe can offer you and opportunities that can come through as well. Oh, it's okay. It's just because I'm getting to the end of the night, Lynchy, and I've been talking for 3 hours and 44 minutes so far, non-stop. I haven't had a lot of water, so yeah, I just need to hydrate my throat and my body, which I'll do after this. But I hope you're well, Lynchy. and thank you for coming by. I'll cut up all these readings too into individual signs later for the overview that I did at the start for the eclipse and what energy is coming. So yes, bewitched. So it's a needing to let go of. So cutting your cord. So basically what you need to do is ask Archangel Michael or your guides, your angels, whoever you call on, basically, to come in and help to like cut those cords and release you from any situations or people that are toxic or holding you back, or any situations in the past that have hurt you and caused trauma that now stop you from being able to move into new relationships because of that old trauma there as well. And we can cut those cords by imagining actually like coming by and like we can imagine our heads like us physically cutting them with a knife, or Archangel doing that for us, or a sword or something cutting through, because we have energetic ties to people, everyone we can like come into contact with, and especially if we're in long-term contact with someone and we've got a stronger bond and connection with them, and that cord is tighter as well, and that energetic cord is always attached unless we release and let go. When we hold on to old stuff, that cord stays there and it continuously drains our energy. Thank you, Lynchy. I will hydrate. I'm almost out of water, but I've got a bit left. Thank you for caring about my hydration. So we're needing, so you need to visualize the cord cutting. It can be situations or people, but actually, and another technique too for cutting cords is like imagining the situation or the person, and imagine you're in a you're at a stream or like a little river or something like that, and that they're in a boat and that they're floating away down the stream, basically away from you, and you have to imagine them leaving and you being okay with them releasing and letting go and continuing down that stream to float away, and you visualize them getting further and further and further away until there's like no more energetic pull on you anymore, and you've released something to go and you're okay. You got to get into that and be in that feeling of them okay leaving and that energy moving away, and that will help you to release and let go and cut that cord connected to them as well. So yeah, another way of cutting cords is writing out a letter to someone of what you would want to say to them. You don't have to say it, of course, or send them that letter, but write it out and get it out what you would want to say to them or write to them, and then you can dispose of it. You can burn it, you can bury it. You can do whatever you want to then release it and let go of it. You don't want to keep it and hold on to it. So yeah, that's what I have for you, Bewitched. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And thank you for letting me look at your chart. And thank you everyone else for being here today and stopping by. I appreciate it. Make sure that you look back for the readings that we did today, the general readings for each sign. I'll cut them up into highlights for each sign as well. I'll have them on YouTube, I'll have them on here. Make sure you join Discord if you haven't already as well. I'll be putting the eclipse information up there, everything I went through at the start of the video, all the information posted there. That is all for today. Again, thank you everyone, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, appreciate your support. I hope that everyone has a good eclipse energy time basically over the next few days. Make sure you have followed if you haven't already, so that you can be notified, or join Discord so you'll be notified about the sound healing we're going to do in 2 days on that eclipse energy. We're going to do a sound healing to help us like release and let go and really ground into that energy so that we can benefit from it and move forward into that new moon energy, and really then set our intentions of what we want to manifest over the next 6 months. So yes, now let's see if anyone is on that we could raid, since there's a few of us here. If anyone's got any recommendations that they want to raid anyone. Otherwise, we'll just see if there's anyone in a tarot, because I feel like that's something big as everyone needs some guidance at the moment. Look, there's a collective reading happening with Calossum88. I've never checked her out before, but she's doing a collective reading, and that's always good to like tune in and just know what's going on. And that's what was at the start of my reading too, a collective reading. So make sure you tune into that. And again, join Discord if you haven't already. You'll be able to look back at the videos once I cut them up And everybody have a lovely week and a lovely eclipse time. I hope to see you at the sound healing so we can really connect and ground that energy and clear the last bits that we need to. So thank you, everyone. Take care and have a great day or night wherever you are. I appreciate you being here. Oh, it's not letting me raid, guys, so yeah, I don't know why. So we'll just jump off then. Everybody take care and have a great week, and like I said, hopefully see you in 2 days for the sound healing, and we're even going to do a bit of ASMR too. That's a secret, but yeah, if you're here, you'll be here for it, which is exciting. So take care. Bye, everyone.